So how does it work? Do people tell you what to draw?
Yeah, sometimes if anyone is watching, that's the thing.
I assume they might be. Hey guys, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, welcome to Drawing with Dads. I'm Wesley Hall. I do nameless PCs.
I am Stephen McGee. I do RainDogComic.com.
I am Chris Brady, and I do Lunar Baboon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like,
welcome, Chris.
yeah, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
You're our first international guest, man. This is pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
you
I
are
guess,
overseas.
although I am from New York, so I guess you started the show with a horrible lie.
You're ruining it. What are you doing?
I guess it's not a horrible lie; it's just a little one.
Well, there you go.
I live here though, so yes, this is international. These drawings are coming from way up north.
Way up north.
I'm surrounded by snow.
Are you really already? Wow. I guess
Always.
yeah,
Always. Right?
always.
Always. There's
We're
just moose
surrounded by
everywhere, right?
floodwater, man. Our area is like underwater right now.
Yeah, I saw some photos of what the world would look like in 50 years, and I think where you lived, your house specifically was in it. Was
Yeah.
It was just a roof. I don't want to alarm you, but
Let's wait for the walls to cave in.
it was essentially just a roof. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like the lower half of our state is legitimately underwater right now. It's pretty crazy.
And
Is
what did
that anywhere where you are? You're not near that, are you?
No, so we're probably about 30 miles from some of it, but the really hardcore stuff's about 100 miles southeast. Um, and obviously the coast. The coast is underwater, but all those houses are like on pylons for the most part.
crazy?
That is crazy.
Do they have plans to sort of stop that from happening? Is that possible?
To stop it from happening, it's already happened. Wait, what?
Yeah, like in the future though, when the water does, hopefully go back a bit, like build some walls, like in that giant
Um,
robot.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because it was because of a storm and one of the dams was like a couple of dams around the state have been just failing, and so it was this cascade of like terrible things happening, and then um, I think the hurricane really was what affected. This happened in the 90s, I think. I don't think it flooded this bad, but I remember there was this storm that like this. It's weird seeing an old picture of South Carolina next to the storm. Like the whole arm of the spiral was covering the whole state, and it was just like flooding everywhere. We went to the beach the next year, and I remember finding like ceiling tiles in the water with like nails and stuff. We were freaking out, trying not to get like any kind of, I guess tetanus.
Right. That would be a horrible thing to happen when you go to the beach.
What you bring back from your vacation? Techness.
It makes like sand in your cheese doodles like not so bad.
Yeah. On a lighter note, how's everybody doing?
Great.
All
Great.
right.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm still marveling that I'm awake. I'm gonna make it. Although I saw some of your other clips, I was flipping through, and some of them are 3 hours. That,
Yeah, that's yeah.
We just kind of go and don't stop and ramble. So
no, I mean,
you don't feel like you are trapped here for 3 hours.
oh no, this is where I sit every night. I'm doing nothing different,
Nothing has changed.
except people are talking to me, so it makes me actually feel much better about
Well, there,
myself.
well, there
Do you
you
have people
go.
in the room with you right now?
No, Danielle was sitting watching TV, but now she's sitting on the porch watching TV. Not that we have a TV on the porch, she just brought out her computer. We have TVs
You
everywhere.
guys would be rich.
Yeah. So it's all my Patreon money. Don't tell anyone, but I just keep buying TVs.
You
Like,
just need that content.
but not
Not
even
expensive cars or cool stuff, just TVs.
TVs, not even flat screens though. Just those big old big ones.
The
Cable
dial.
cafe.
That's right. It only goes from 1 to 11.
We just hooked up our Atari. It took 4 hours.
That's amazing. What games do you have for Atari?
Nothing.
I remember I
Steven,
downloaded like an Atari emulator to my computer, and it was like 10 megabytes or something. Like there are certain songs I have that are larger than that. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, that's so sad. Nice.
So
We
Chris,
had
what is your comic process like when you're writing one? You said one of the obviously I think a lot of comic artists have like a time crunch, you know, because you don't want to be up till like 4 in the morning. But what's that usually like for you?
I usually, I mean, I don't, I'll never sit down without an idea already. Um, so I don't know. I find that I take the subway to work and then the subway home, and in that time, if I don't have a good idea when I get off the subway, it's probably not going to come, and I won't draw that night. But like anyone, I'm sure you guys too. My phone is just filled with notes. Like I text myself all the time. It's the way I do it. I don't know. It's not the best way, but
Uh,
I like it. I like when my phone buzzes or bings, so I'll just text myself an idea. And if it's still funny to me later on, then I'll do that one. But and my comics are never that. They're not that in depth, right? They're pretty simple, so I don't have to think about. If the idea is good, drawing them is easy. Like I don't spend too much time drawing them. Um, only because I don't have the time. And I think at this point it doesn't really matter. I- Like I don't think people expect to see beautiful art when they come to my page. Uh, so yeah, and then I'll come home, put the kids to bed. It's 9 o'clock, and then I'll go for it. I think if I have more than one idea, then I'll always choose to do the one that's less panels because
oh yeah, okay.
I want to go to sleep.
I've done that before. That sounds
Like
Yeah.
coming up with a 4 panel idea is to me, I love it. Because I know I can do it, and I'll still have the time to like lay on the couch for 20 minutes before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
And plus, I think if you're making something that's going to be shared, the smaller it is, usually the better it's going to be shared.
Yeah, so I've noticed that. I used to do some single panels and they would get some heavy traffic, but you know, I'll do like a 12 paneler. Like nobody cares. And it's
Yeah.
okay. I still did it and I love that piece and I learned a lot from it, but really like it doesn't go far. My parents share it and that's about it.
Well, I mean, I think the long ones I prefer. When I look back at the stuff that I made that I really like, it's the longer ones. But yeah, they don't get any play really. Um, but you know, when you put together books and stuff, it's the longer ones that fit nicer. They look better, and I think that's what people will sit and actually look at them. So they're good to make if you have the time. Um, yeah, for me though, I think the ideas that I'll gravitate towards are the ones that I don't have to worry about dialogue or writing any words. Um, if I can do a shorter, even a long one with no words, I'll always do that first. Um, I just think those ones are the best. I don't know why. Not like for
Yeah,
anyone.
right. You have really cool talent for that actually. Like like it's hard to not put words in something, you know, like in a strip,
Well,
and you do it pretty well.
well, it's hard. It's hard because you have to sort of assume, you have to believe that the people that are reading it are like will understand it without you telling them what's good about, like what's funny about this, you know, or telling them the joke. They sort of have to. You just have to have faith that you're gonna get it, which can be hard because you don't want to sit there and make something for a really long time. No one wants to look at it because they don't understand it.
Yeah. Oh shit.
You do a really good, yeah, like that Steven there. You do a really good job of that. I know I'm always like back away from that. I'm like, just I'll put a few words in here, just let it over explain everything.
Well, it's not always bad. I mean, it's not always bad. It's just um, I find that when I'm looking back on my older ones, the ones without the words, I still like more. So I just know that if like in hindsight, I'm going to prefer to make them. I'm going to prefer having comics without the words in them. Plus, then they have like a universal appeal. Someone who doesn't speak the language can enjoy them. Someone who doesn't like reading can enjoy them. I don't know. Something about like a character's face or a pause in a panel where there's no words, but you can tell they're thinking. I like those panels. That's what gives it sort of, I don't know, it adds a little bit more feeling to a strip that might not have it if it's just like, you just feel like you're being talked at. It feels more like real life, I guess, without the words. I'm not much of a talker.
I get it though. I mean, that's, you know, it totally makes sense. There's a it's such an art to really handle. I've tried that a couple of times, and like sometimes it will work, but it's really, I almost have to run it by like 5 or 6 people first, you know, to make sure that like I'm not just losing my mind and this makes sense to me and not somebody else, you know.
Sometimes I find that I always wonder about this because some people say that they'll run their jokes by people, and some people don't. I actually don't like doing it because I'll always second guess myself. I'll finish one and then I'll show Danielle, and I'll know based on her reaction usually how good it is, but I'll never change it based on that. Well, with one I've already done it.
Person in the subway.
What's that?
Like a random person in the subway.
Yeah, I won't like, hey, do you think this joke's funny? It's about you.
You pull his earphones out of his ears and you're like, hey, can you check this out?
Yeah, what do you think about this? I drew you doing something. No, I would never.
This is you with a horse body. What do you think?
That's right. That's right. Look how wrinkly I made you.
I do it. I have like 2 or 3 friends that I'll like spitball stuff off of, especially if I haven't like formulated everything or like walking down words. That's like I feel like I'm probably like my writing is my weakest part. So sometimes they'll help me clean up language or whatever. You know.
I just always worry that someone will say, oh, this reminds me of, or they'll do something like that, and my self-confidence is not super high. So if anyone gives me any doubt, I think I would stop liking that comic. And if I just don't show it to anybody, I just post it, then I can live without knowing how people feel because I don't have to read the comments and it's it's like anything. If I make something at night, I don't post it right away. I always post usually right after I finish something. But by the morning, I'm always second guessing whether I should post it or if it's any good. I just find out I make it and I'll post it almost immediately. With Webtoons now, I have to have stuff in like 72 hours in advance, and I find that by the time they're posted, it's so far removed from me that it's harder for me to sort of enjoy them.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel like I've done that, or like I can't even remember what I drew, you know, last week.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, like, do you feel like, I guess it has been, Webtoons is kind of forcing you to create a buffer then, in a way, by having this 72 hours in advance.
It's very hard. I find it very hard for me because I've never had a buffer.
Yeah, I haven't since I started, honestly. I had 10 in the bag, and then I started, and then I lost them immediately.
Yeah, in the 3 and change years I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever had a buffer. I have a buffer now because of Webtoons, but it's not the same kind of buffer as if I was just posting for myself. And I also find it harder because before I was making 2 or 3 a week just for my own site, and now I feel like I can't just post to Webtoons. I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I like Webtoons, but I feel like I also need to post 2 or 3 to my site still. So now I'm making like twice as many as I was before, and that's hard. That I feel like I get a little stressed about it, and I don't really want to be stressed about doing this, you know. But a buffer would be nice.
Yeah.
that's when I really get envious of people who don't have kids who do this. Is that I've only been drawing these since having kids, and like being able to sit down, like waking up in the morning and then having a full day just to draw. I think I could in a day with no interruptions, no kids, I could probably make like 4 or 5 comics. I'd have like gigantic buffer. I like that. I would have the biggest buffer.
Like this big, bigger, I don't know.
My buffer.
Intimidating buffers.
But that's not the way it is. So
that's wild. So I mean, well, I mean, obviously I doubt you could say, but like, do you feel like you want to do webtoons forever?
I don't know. I'd like, you know what I'd like. I would do it forever. I think what I need to start doing is creating specific type of comic for them. So maybe, like right now, I'm doing the same exact thing as I'm doing Not There, which I don't love that. I'd love for maybe to start like series. So like this focuses on this part of my life or this part of the character's life, and this section of it focuses on this part of the character's life or this character's life, as opposed to just doing the same kind of thing in both places. Because then I have to decide, like, do I want, will this joke, like, is this the place for it, or should I just put this on my site? Will this do better if I put it on my site? Like, stuff like that. I don't really like thinking about that. But if I knew, like, oh, I'm doing 12 episodes on like, Moishi's fear of donuts. That's not a thing, but like if I was, then I would know exactly like this is the kind of comic I'm making for them right now.
Yeah, storyline, that'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah, which I've always wanted to do. It's one of my Patreon goals. I just time-wise I don't have, but like storyline is great. I love them, and I normally don't. For people just doing webcomics, it's hard to gain an audience with a storyline.
Yeah.
But on webtoons, like that's what it is, right? They're called episodes, and people flip through them like they are. But I think the hope is to build an audience there and then start, veering off into some other things. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's good. They pay me, so I'm getting paid for comics, which is something I never thought would happen in my life. So.
Yeah, congratulations. Seriously, I mean, it's obviously you've done wonders with your strip. It's an incredible strip. I mean, you deserve it. You work hard, and
Thanks. Yeah. I also think though that there's such a time and luck kind of thing to it. Because when you look at a lot of the things that are being made that are way better, like they're just as good, let's say, and they don't have nearly as many people like tuning in to see their comic. It baffles me, and I just have to believe there's just a time, and there's like a number thing. Like when you hit a certain number, it seems to have propelled forward. Like people will believe that this is better than that because more people like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Yeah.
And my comic had hit that number, so I think it's easier for people to jump in. So like they don't have to say it. Someone has already said that I'm good enough to read. To waste my 5 seconds on.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So in a way, you're saying like it's kind of like with an established audience, it's easier to kind of have somebody new jump in, and then.
I feel like it. I don't we do that for everything? Like there's like certain foods we will buy more at the store because we just know craft dinner is good. Even though there's like right next to it, there's like Johnny Blue's like white cheddar noodle paste, which is it's the same thing.
Meal paste, is that what?
Yeah, meal paste.
I think we actually purchased that recently. It's
trademark.
That's me. That's product placement, Lunar Baboon, for Johnny Blue's meal paste.
That'd be great if you like fleshed it out. It was like on your shirt. You already had it going.
Yeah, that's right.
Just like bringing it out.
A little bag of money just appears here.
That's how sponsorship works, right?
Oh,
I hope so.
I don't know if I thanked you guys for contributing to this coloring book thing here.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, do you have a print right there?
Yeah, I'm like a week away from launching this Kickstarter, so I'm very excited because it's been a long. Maybe this is why I'm so tired right now. It's not webtoons. It's actually having to do the comic webtoons and then also put together a book. And I putting together a book in my mind. I mean, some people might love it. That if someone ever wanted to like publish my stuff for real, that was the first thing I would give away. If I just I will give you everything. You do the InDesign stuff. I hate it. It's so boring and tedious to me. And then I have to like relook at stuff I don't want to look at anymore.
Yeah.
And you start noticing the quality of things that just is not good, are not good.
I think Nick Selick had talked about that. I feel like he did something about it because he's through McNeely Publishing.
Yeah, with his new The Heart and Break.
I'm pretty sure they handle some of that, but I don't know. Like he might retain some kind of control. I don't really remember.
I mean, I do like having my books that I made. They're all mine. Every choice is mine. No one's coming back and saying, "Oh, take this one out," or "Don't put that in there." I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, it's with like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can you make yourself more handsome? No. But yeah, you can do anything. You can just add like 10 pages in the back of the book of butts, and no one's gonna say anything. But it's just a lot of work. It's a crazy amount of work. And maybe it's one of those things again that if I had the time, I would love it. Or maybe if this was my day job, I would love it. But it's not.
There's a whole different like skill set too, from drawing stuff to like laying out comics and everything. Like layout is its whole like it's a pain in the ass.
It is, and I find it tedious. And I'm not on that mindset, so I'll make mistakes, and I'll only realize it like 120 pages in, so then I have to redo everything.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I've only done like a small layout for stuff, and it's still driving me mad.
Mm-hmm.
I did my first book, man, in Microsoft Word. It was awful.
I remember you told me that. I tried that.
I do not recommend it. It was pretty bad.
I think I tried it for like an hour, and I was like, kudos to Steven.
Yeah. How did you get a book out in Microsoft Word?
It was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. But I figured out a way around it, like a way to make it work, and it just I was so naive to the whole process that I just was like, I need a book now.
Well, it looks good. I have it. It's I think I got the pre version. You were trying to get stuff done for a con, right?
Yeah, that's right. I still have a few copies actually, so I like got it done for a con and printed like 50 books off. Go to the con and sold like 8, you know.
Yeah, that's normal going on.
Yeah, I figured.
I was at TCAT this year. I think I brought 100 books. I think I sold like 40 or 50, but you always bring more than you need.
Yeah.
Some people sell out real fast though.
Have you done a bunch of cons? I haven't done any. Well,
That was my first one. I really liked it. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I'm not. Some people know when all the cons are. I find out about that. I'm like, oh, I'd love to go to that, but then you have to register like 8 months in advance.
Yeah. I think those are the people who draw comics that don't have kids, you know.
And that's like that's their bread and butter, right? You make good money at cons, right? So usually, sometimes. Yeah, if you have to make money, then you have to figure out the schedule.
You gotta really like I did my first one. So I did 2. I did my first one in Charlotte, which I had to travel for and like get a hotel and all that.
Yeah.
Stayed at this swanky hotel. It was. I remember I still have some photos of it. It had like a beer and salad bar. It was disgusting. So I tried it out, of course, and took a bunch of pictures. And but I ended up spending more money on my ticket and everything. I ended up coming out nothing like falling pretty far into the negative. But then I did one in my hometown and actually made like kind of a decent amount of cash.
Yeah, if you spend on travel, then and your book's already paid for, then yeah, you don't nothing besides buying a table and like a burrito for lunch. There's not much else you have to buy.
Smart. Let's see. We have some suggestions from the chat if you guys want to draw them.
Yeah.
Let's see. I actually read the chat. Hey, hello, 5 people watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Let's see. We got Count Chocula off-season job or a new Scooby-Doo villain.
So specific.
I have to look up what Count Chocula looks like again.
I don't remember.
You guys don't know just Count Chocula off the top of your head?
Oh, let me check my tattoo. Hold on.
It's on your back though.
The lower back too. It's kind of a chocolate tramp stamp.
Of course. That would right on your ass is the perfect place for a Count Chocula tattoo. So.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens, at some point in your life, that's going to end up in jail time.
I think I'd be afraid if I was in prison. I saw someone with a tattoo like that. What new Scooby-Doo villain? Isn't all Scooby-Doo villains just people wearing a mask?
Yeah, I think we just have to draw like weird, like child molester type guys. I think put like a mask to the side. I think that'd be okay.
Yeah, just Old Man Sanders. Always with it's Old Man Sanders. It's the janitor.
Like they've all been in jail with Count Chocula tattoos.
Yes.
Dude, honestly, if I was in jail, I think I would get so much reading done. Like I would miss all the things that I can't do, but it would be nice to kind of catch up on the books that I'm missing from having work and kids.
I think this is one of the weird things about having kids is that jail time starts sounding good. And your reasoning is so you can read. That alone, for anyone who's thinking about having kids out there,
Yeah.
you like reading, it might not be for you.
Yeah.
That's not true. If you like reading picture books, then it's definitely for you. But if you like reading books with 30 to 200, 300 pages, not for you.
I started reading my 1-year-old The Hobbit because he likes saying that word Hobbit, So I was like, let's do this, and I started turning the pages. And he just like all he wanted to look at was the map in the front.
Yeah.
And so when I was like, no, let's actually read the story, he like ripped the page out of the book and like it's ruined forever. I started kind of tearing that apart. Now I got to find. We ended up reading like some Charlie Brown thing.
Well, I mean, the first 50 pages of The Hobbit is just like a genealogy of names, is it not? So.
Yeah.
He saved you the trouble. It's just a list of dwarves and their families.
Yeah. Count Chocula's day job, or do you guys want to do that?
I see. I was going to do Count Chocula's day job would be to be a new Scooby-Doo villain. Mind blown.
Oh, so you're going to mix the two, like Count Chocula scaring hippies and their dog?
I really don't know what's going on. I'm going to try.
What are we doing? Sorry, I stepped out for a second. Count Chocula?
Yeah, let's do Count Chocula.
What was the full request?
Count Chocula's off-season job. Yeah. So what does he do when he's not promoting the cereal?
I gotcha.
Like, does he drink the chocolate out of things? I mean, is he kind of like he's a vampire, right?
Yes, I believe. A chocolate vampire? Yeah.
Chocolate vampire, I don't think we've ever heard anyone.
Maybe he only drinks out of diabetics or something.
Yeah. Kids that don't brush their teeth.
Actually, I really hate chocolate cereal. I tried this as an adult. I was like, oh man, I hated it as a kid, but I'm older now. Maybe I'll love it as an adult, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, I've never liked even chocolate milk. People are like, you're a weirdo.
It's just chunky chocolate milk, essentially. I like the other guys though. I'm looking at some images here, and Frankenberry he just looks so cute. And
You should draw
Blueberry,
Frankenberry. Go for it.
well, I mean, yeah, he looks so delightful. You should Google image Frankenberry. He makes me like really happy just to look at. There's also some sort of werewolf, brute,
Oh yeah, I've seen another.
It's a weird flavor.
brute.
I don't know if that one took off as much.
Harry Berry.
Yep. I mean, it seems weird that like is he really a chocolate vampire, and then he also got the job to be. Did he create this cereal, or is just hired to do the job?
So I guess that's his day job. That's the answer right there. Making flakes for the man.
He's like a vampire that's sold out. And all the other vampires just like mock him. He's not a real count, you know, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna start trying. Do people see my screen right now?
You can share it. I think if you scan around, you move your mouse around or whatever, there should be a thing on the left that has like a screen share. It's like a green arrow.
Oh, so I'm not sharing it? Perfect.
We see you and your banister.
Yeah.
Now oh, there it is. Very nice. Very hairy. Oh, so we're all using manga. Nice.
You didn't see, I was drawing your house before.
Oh, yeah, that's the first time we've seen that. Seriously, you would not even know there was a storm in this part of the state. Like, there weren't even leaves falling off the trees. You know, but the lower half of our area is just, like, shot to hell and back. I mean, it's just whatever.
Devastated.
Yeah,
Yeah, my family lives in Long Island, and Hurricane Sandy just tore it apart.
Yeah, didn't that knock the power out?
Yeah, for a long time. Well, no, they had maybe it was a snowstorm. I think, or was that? They had power out for like weeks.
How long ago was that? Was Sandy a while ago? Okay.
Yeah, that was a few years now.
Yeah. We had a Nashville one where it was like there was a big flood, and it didn't hit like where I was at. Like we were on top of a hill. You know, there's like video of like 15 minutes down the road, people were catching catfish, like in their front yards. It was crazy, but we were fine. So. And my parents like got cut off because where they were living, they lost power and stuff like that, and their basement flooded a little, but not too bad.
I remember that because what is it, like one of the big, the hall, like the Opry or something like that flooded?
Yeah, the
Was it?
Ryman. Mhm. They saved part of the original stage. Let's see. I gotta look at Count Chocula. How have you been liking Manga Studio?
I mean, I love it. Is it Brendan, his brushes?
Oh yeah, those are great. The Fernand brushes.
What I love about Twitter, especially, is that you can just ask any question to the void, and everyone will respond. It's usually really good advice. So I had no idea that about any of that stuff, but I just said, oh, I just got this tablet, and then suddenly all these people are telling me things that I should get with it. And the brushes, I haven't even tried, I would say 95% of them.
Yeah, I got that huge pack of his. Did you get that one that was like 200 brushes?
Super set.
Yeah.
Where do you go for that? I'm actually like in the market for that.
I
You're
just I
over-
think taking Brendan brushes. I think that's
I just Google Brenda's brushes.
Brendan, Frenden or something.
yeah. Here, I can put you a link to the chat. I don't remember where to chat. Oh, here's my face again.
Nice fan.
Yeah, here's my beautiful fan. I'm gonna check for spiders again. Make sure nobody's jumping down.
Oh shit!
I had to kill a huge one that was like hanging out in the back of our shed. It was just like, this is scary, Vic.
You didn't like save it and try to train it.
Yeah.
You guys ever see that movie Eight-Legged Freaks?
I remember
I know.
parts of it.
I know the box art. Is David Arquette in that one?
Yeah, it was god awful. It was
It's one of those ones that's supposed to be awful.
yeah, I don't think so. Like I think they were just trying to. I don't know. I think somebody just dropped the ball in naming it, and then and casting David Arquette. I think that was also the second ball that they dropped.
He was hot to trot there. He was hot property back in the days. He also is like he's on a motorcycle on part of it or a dirt bike. That was like during the big like 90s extreme sports revolution.
Oh
He
yeah,
was a skateboarder. Isn't he in
Tony
there?
Hawk was in everything, or like
Yes.
snowboarders were popping in cameos.
Yes. Everybody who rode a skateboard or a surfboard or like a motocross vehicle. It was just the thing.
I was in Scream, and Scream was a big hit.
Yeah.
But besides that,
Yeah, I don't know where he's at nowadays. He was in that wrestling movie. You guys remember that one, right? No.
Nope. Which one?
Oh, what was it? They were like fans of wrestling, and him and his friends just like I don't even remember the plot. Other than that, they were fans of wrestling, and somehow they ended up wrestling with the WCW wrestlers at the time.
sounds amazing.
It was a terrible film. Do not waste your time.
Okay.
No, it sounds like a good movie to watch with like a group of people though, and a bad movie.
It helps if you were a real like '90s kid because it was all that. I mean, all that stuff was popular, and now like nobody remembers any of them. Guys, Diamond Dallas Page, right, guys?
Yeah, DDP.
DDP's in it, man. He's the bad guy.
Actually, I only got into wrestling because it was like my brother was really into it, and like we didn't really have much like going on at the same time. But he would like kind of describe it for me and talk about all the crazy drama that was going on. And so I kind of like got into it with him, and that was kind of our thing, you know.
Did you ever see where RoboCop saved one of the wrestlers? That's probably the best crossover they had.
No, but I just rewatched the one where Trump shows up and beats the crap out of like Vince McMahon because like since he's in the media now all over the place.
Nothing's more presidential than having been on a wrestling show.
Probably that's a lot of his voters. The new Scooby Doo is actually uh, there with John Cena.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know anything about wrestling, but I'm learning now that my son loves Scooby Doo. He watches that movie a lot.
Oh no.
It's weird. It's just like it just feels like they're trying really hard to get people to watch Scooby Doo. Just threw John Cena in there.
We'll tie it into all of your favorite projects. What do you love? Like Scooby Doo does that now.
I never like you know what was always weird to me about it? It's kind of like the same thing when I would watch the Flintstones as a kid, but there's a laugh track on cartoon.
That is
I don't know why that always threw me off. They were still great, and I love the animation, but it's just like laugh tracks are always just kind of weird to me.
yeah, that is weird.
It's very strange. Are we supposed to believe those people were there laughing? I don't know.
Yeah, they were like actively laughing while they were drawing. Oh, yeah, that's right.
These jokes were just landing left and right. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Tom says the movie was Ready to Rumble. That's what the chat is telling us.
Ah.
That was the David Arquette movie. David Arquette also was the WCW champion for a little bit, so I remember that he won the wrestling
I'm
somehow.
gonna make a note here, a side note to watch Ready to Rumble.
Yeah. Let me know if you do, and let me know if you survive. Is really the important part.
I'll often watch with like some friends bad movies, and we'll do over under. So before the movie starts, it has to be a movie no one's seen, and you have to sort of guess like, okay, in this movie for sure, like someone definitely there's going to be shots of someone's face and someone else's crotch. Like, that's for sure in that movie. I haven't seen it. And then you guess like, okay, is there going to be uh, over 3 or under, and then each person will go around and sort of guess, and then like the fun of it is making the categories, and then you watch the movie with it's like gambling, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It makes it
Everybody
way
has to steal that.
way more fun. We recently watched. I mean, the best movie we've seen doing that was Wild Hogs.
Oh my God, with like what's his name? John Crap.
Tim Allen and John Travolta, yeah.
John Travolta, yeah. And like
And
Tim Allen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, now I remember what you're talking about.
it's just so bad that I don't know. Just for some reason, that was the one that worked really well. If the movie's too bad, like it's trying to be bad, it's not fun to do.
Yeah, there's not as much fun unless it's like sincere.
Yeah, that one was sincerely trying to be funny. I'm not doing a great job of it, at least to me. I know it probably did pretty well. There was talks of a sequel, but it never quite made it.
Did it never make the sequel?
No, it didn't make it.
That's heartbreaking. I was really looking forward to that.
To watching aging comedians and John Travolta.
Yeah.
I think that sounds pretty funny to me. It didn't happen. I can't see. I want to see your screens. How do I see what you guys are doing?
Oh,
Yeah.
there's icons at the bottom, and you can just click on those.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh, very nice. I like how the styles of they're exactly like the styles we draw in all the time. Cool.
Dude, I could watch people draw for hours. I think that's my favorite thing about going to cons. Just kind of watching people go through the motions of like their style. Especially like you'll see some guys who've been in it for a while who'll do like watercolor
Yes.
or just something just incredible. It's so cool to watch.
I had the pleasure of meeting Boulet. You know him?
The Belay Core guy.
Yeah, Boulet is like a French illustrator.
Wait, does he do a strip or does he just kind of illustrate?
He does do a strip, but he also just does tons of illustrations. He's Boulet. You just Google him, you'll see. I'm sure you've seen his stuff before. But he is just just by freehand, he was doing some really amazing just drawings inside books. Just like putting everyone to shame. Like no one like was anywhere near as good as him in my mind at least. Just he was doing like hundreds and hundreds of these in a day. He recently did like a book with Zach Weir Smith.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's good.
Right, like Zach's stuff is incredible. Like one thing I love about his strip is he just seems like a kind of guy who really we were talking about this before, but he really knows a lot about just different types of science I'm such a like nerd for like space and science and crap like that.
Well, you are a scientist, are you not?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I do. I work in genetics, but like all the like astronomy, just different types of math and stuff like that. Like I'm just so fascinated with, and like a lot of his strip kind of touches on some of that.
Yeah, he must do a ton of reading. He has to. Like he seems to know something about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He,
exactly.
he makes a lot of strips.
Yeah, his output's incredible.
I can hardly get done 2 a week, and people like you and him just blow me away how many you can like push out.
Like I said, I do four. I try to do four. I'd say that's minimum. Then two for me, two for Webtoon. But I don't plan on doing anything else at night besides that. My life is not super exciting, so that's it's like come home, and I do all the family stuff, and then when the kids are in bed, then I have a choice. I either watch TV or I draw. And for the last few years, drawing has just sort of taken over.
Do you ever have those nights where you're just like, I'm seriously gonna call, like, take a mulligan and just go to sleep?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, when school year starts, I'm like some nights I come home and I'm exhausted, so I'll fall asleep at 8:30. As I'm putting my son to bed, I'll fall asleep also.
I do that quite a lot actually, because he needs us to be in the room when we fall asleep, and I end up falling asleep like next to him. And I'm just like, oh my god, I wake up at like midnight.
Well, that usually happens then is I wake up really early, and then I'll have more energy to draw, so I'll wake up at like 3 or 4. Like I've been doing that lately. Because I'm too tired at night. I just set the alarm for 4, and I'll do one in the morning.
That's crazy.
It is. It does seem crazy, right? But I don't know. For some reason I've gotten so used to doing the comic that if I don't have something, I lose. My day is never as good unless I post something. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Sounds
I
weird,
can see that.
but I just like doing it. I like making them, and I like interacting with people after I make one. And it's sort of this, you're always sort of chasing the one comic that goes crazy and everyone loves it. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's a cool feeling seeing it just spread like crazy.
Definitely. I don't even think I've gotten to like near the level. I think maybe the guest comics I've done for you has been as close as I've gotten there. But
I
if
mean,
it's
I don't have many, but there's been a few that still show up, that people still talk about,
oh yeah,
and it's cool. It's like you found like a perfect joke, or you found like a perfect idea, and you crafted it perfectly, and it just works. Uh, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it feels nice. It's like when you watch people who watch sports, they watch it for like that one game where it's down to the buzzer and someone throws it from half court and scores. I'm sure I'm mixing sports up, but that's you're chasing that like underdog once in
yeah,
a
yeah, that
blue
like comeback victory. Nice.
I'm still trying to figure out like a lot of manga. There's a lot I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
manga.
Manga, right?
The manga studio or whatever.
Manga.
Oh yeah, it's like Photoshop. I just use the same thing over and over again, and then it's like a million functions I don't know how to use at all.
Yeah, it's a ton. It goes so deep. But I'm with you guys. I'm just like I use the pen tool and the pencil tool.
Yeah.
I draw my comic and then I'm done.
I played with the paint feature, or like the oil paint feature, and it's kind of cool because it'll actually, like when you're coloring with it, it'll actually blend the colors as you paint, like you would normally if you were
Yeah.
painting wood on wood.
Have you
I
messed
thought
with
that
the
was,
tone feature? That one's nice too, like the halftones. You just color in an area and then you like drop it in. We'll color it as like halftone stuff. It's a cool style. I don't do it enough.
What I find with this is that I don't make enough layers, and I'll do a pencil layer, and then I'll just start drawing ink and forget to make the ink layer.
Oh yeah.
I do that almost always when I work with the tablet. And then I have to erase everything and do it again because otherwise you have to go in and like erase all the pencils from the ink or away from the ink, and it takes forever. Some people are really good about making layers beforehand, labeling them, just organize.
I'm not one of those people. I'm with you. Just like then they end up with 18 layers and like 4 of them are named.
Right, exactly. That's what my InDesign file for my next book. That's exactly what it looks like. It's just a mess.
How
You
is
guys-
running like a Kickstarter and all that? Like, is that stressful? I can imagine.
I was stressed for the first one. This one I don't feel as stressed about, only because the first one did well enough. Um, but I would imagine that this, I'm not worried about, I don't think, I don't feel worried about hitting the goal for this one. I think I'd be more like, only because like, even if it doesn't do super well, it just means it's less work for me to do afterwards.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of books to ship out, and I was not planning any. So, the actually once you've made the Kickstarter, easy. I think you just sort of sit back and you share it once in a while. Making the actual book that takes a lot more work. I guess I'd maybe do it a little backwards. I know some people do the Kickstarter and then they actually put together the book. Is that I don't know. How do people do it?
I don't know. I
Yours
feel like
has to get
now.
funded like in a day.
Well, my last one was funded very quickly. It was really nice because I did no pressure at all.
Pretty incredible.
But I had already made the book, so I know some people will first get it funded and then they'll do the book. But once again, the book's already made. Like I have a copy right here. It's just I don't feel comfortable like getting people's money not knowing that I've already done the work because what if something happens and I just don't have the time to actually put the book together. I feel terrible having people's all this money. I make it. I have everything I need. It's just putting it together. You have to make like a video for Kickstarter. You have to do a page like that. It's just one of those things that takes a little extra time. I don't think it's a ton of work. Yeah, I
So what about mailing them out from Canada? Did you find like it costs a lot more than you anticipated to ship them internationally?
I didn't even really think about it. I just sort of sort of just guessed what it would cost. Like I highballed it, and then what happened was Jason Weissman. He does Drinking Quest. It's like a
Yeah.
drinking game.
Yeah, that's a great.
So I met him. Peter, who does Rock Paper Cynic, was doing like a drawing thing, and I was over there, and I met him, and he's sort of both really nice guys, and they sort of were talking about this thing called Chit Chat Express here in Canada, where essentially they'll take packages and I think they drive them to the border and mail them.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Which is amazing because what happened was when I finally realized how much to ship something from Canada using Canada Post to internationally, it costs like $40 just for the shipping, which I had not planned for, and a lot of my packages were going internationally. So I would have been screwed, or just not made any money at all. But
Yeah.
Chit Chat thing, it's done by the pound for international ones at least, and everything else you use stamps.com. So, but it usually costs about 10, 15 to ship. They don't do tracking, so I did have to like send a few books out again because people never got them. And people who live in Turkey or just places that are really far away,
Yeah.
uh, which is hard, right? Because you can say I mailed it on this date. Uh, I have no other. That's all I can do. Just mail it and hope. Um, but uh, but yeah, that Jason single-handedly saved me tens of thousands of dollars just by giving me that contact. And now I still the place there's 3 locations in Ontario that where they'll ship books is Chit Chat's place, and every week or every 2 weeks I'll drive out and drop off like a huge shipment of books, and they'll mail them for me. So that that's great. I think if I was mailing from the States, like you guys would be in a much better position. It's, I think, a lot cheaper to ship stuff.
Yeah, it's. I tried to mail a few out like when I did my first book run. There was I had to mail one out to Malta. There's
Yeah,
this really cool girl I know on Twitter who's a fan of the comic that lives like in Malta in Europe, and that was like it cost more than the book itself. It was pretty incredible how much it cost me to mail it out there because it's kind of an island. You have to ship it over there first, and then they had to like ferry it out.
yeah.
But I mean, I guess yeah, it tanked the profit margin, but like it was worth it to kind of like keep a fan. You know, she was really cool.
She's the one you did her avatar.
I did, yeah, that's right. Super P.
Yeah,
Her
yeah,
name's Pia.
yeah.
Really cool. She listens to like incredible music.
I remember seeing the avatar, and I thought maybe it's like a relation of yours or something.
No, no.
Well, I look.
I That was something I was gonna do like a long time ago. I was like, hey, I'll design your avatar for money.
Right.
I tried it out on some people, and I just got kind of like occupied with other things and didn't really get to push on it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, what happened was, in order for this chit chat to work, I had to I had to have everything packed by a certain day, and then they came and they picked up all the packages from my house. But I think we spent a weekend. We had someone take the. It was just my one son at the time. He went to my in-laws for at least 36 hours. Um, and I sat at the table and I just drew it in all the copies, and my wife and some friends packed them. And that was one day, and then my friends left, and then the next day I was still packing, and then the next day I was still packing. They showed up, and we had just finished. My house was like just a crazy mess, and they picked them up, but we had to have them done by a certain time, because in order, like you have to have the exact date that you're shipping them on the envelope for this to work. So it was an incredible amount of work. It was nice though because we got it all done in a weekend. Where some people it takes like, they could do it at wouldn't have to they could do it at their own speed. Then it could take them months. But shipped out maybe 800 something books in a weekend. So it was a lot of work, but it was good. It was good turnover too. It happened pretty fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we launched in October, and the Kickstarter ended in November, and I think we had the books out in January, which was good.
Oh, thank you, man, for everything you sent me too. By the way, I really appreciate that. I took a bunch of photos of it, the shirt, the everything. It was awesome.
Oh, you dancing? Is that when you were dancing?
What's that?
Dancing? Is that when you got the shirt? I feel like you have a video of you dancing, painting, but that might be not the same video.
I do. Yes, I did. I was painting my son's room. I did a mural, and I was like, I don't know. I was just filming with like this webcam that I'm using now, and like just to try it out. And I was like, oh my god, I can do slow mo, and I can take time lapse photos. So I freaked out. I was like, thanks for the shirt.
No problem. I still have shirts, boxes of them.
So what kind of inspiration do you usually take like from? So who are some influences that you think you take from when you do comics, or just say you
Uh,
have in general?
I mean, everyone says Calvin and Hobbes, obviously.
That's a given. I mean, it's almost like standard. You
Yeah,
know?
I don't think people need to say that one. I think what, at least um, artistically and also like content-wise, I really like Shel Silverstein.
Oh wow. Okay.
He has a book that when I was younger, I discovered it on my parents' like bookshelf. My dad was an English teacher for a while, so he had tons of books in the basement. But up high was this huge book and it had cartoons on the cover, so I was very interested. But Shel Silverstein uh, did a book called Different Dances, and it's not for kids. So he has like the sidewalk where the sidewalk ends and those great poetry books, uh, and Giving Tree and Who Wants to Buy a Cheap Rhinoceros. But Different Dances is like it's like this perverse sexual satire. There's some sexual comics in it, but it's just also all sorts of satire for grown-ups. And it blew my mind. There's like just it's essentially like comic porn, but really really good. And like it's not all sexual. There's like lots of comics about time and death, things that now when I look at my stuff, I'm like, oh, I totally that had such an impact on my little mind when I found it. I ordered it recently too. Different Dances. I highly recommend it. It's a huge, beautiful book with like lots of. I don't think there's any words in the comic. It's all like these simple comics, like his simple drawings and no boxes or anything. Similar, and you know you'll probably see some similarities to stuff that I've done. When I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, like, amazing how much this influenced me without even knowing it. But I hadn't seen the book, since I was 10. I just ordered it recently. But yeah, Shel Silverstein, Calvin and Hobbes. I don't know. Like besides that, what else I read? Those are the big ones. How about you guys?
Let's see. Oh, there's too many. I feel like to list, but I remember like Schultz, Peanuts and Larson.
Larson, yeah, definitely. I did love Larson. His
You get the
stuff is still great. Like, when you look at,
yeah.
and I feel like there's still people doing that style of comic today.
You could tell that joke in just one
Yeah, like
panel, and it was like everything you needed. There was, such like a dichotomy, or he didn't use a ton of stuff to get the joke there, and it just, as a kid, it always blew my mind. I think.
Yeah, I love it. He's got so much as well.
Yeah, and
he's
they're
still alive.
everywhere.
I think so.
Yeah, no, he has to be because actually I remember he's really adamant about not letting his stuff be posted other than his website.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense because
Gary Larson, I mean, it's interesting to kind of watching it. I'm sorry.
he's like the perfect shareable sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is like he can, it happens without. I mean, a lot of people. It's kind of cool because a lot of people will try and respect it and actually defend his choices when other people share his comics.
Hmm.
But
Oh yeah.
he does have like that type of comic where you really should just. I'm surprised I'm not seeing it everywhere, despite him like, you know, expressing his interest in keeping it out of social media.
I didn't hear that, but now that you say it, it makes a lot of sense because it would be the exact kind of thing that you would see. Although I don't see too many comics that you would see syndicated being shared, right? Yeah, I don't feel like people are posting Calvin and Hobbes comics all the time either. Or maybe it's just the circles that I'm traveling with. But
Yeah, no, I don't see a ton of Calvin and Hobbes. I've seen them pop up every now and then, like
I
around
see it
like
on people's refrigerators and like
yeah,
walls.
yeah,
The ones they didn't bootleg and
Right.
dude. You go to people's houses? Is that like...
Yeah, when I break into people's houses at night.
I like to see what comics are on their
Mostly
refrigerator.
that's what I'm doing is I'm looking to see.
Check out this fridge.
That's when I know I make it, right? You know, you break into a house and you see your own comic. You're just like, all right.
That is my my goal for this. I feel like that's when I'll stop making comics. Is when someday I see I'm sitting on the subway and I see someone on their phone and they're looking at my comic. I don't know why I've set that as my goal, but for some reason I want to see that, and then I'll just
It's
gently
a good goal.
clap my hands together, and then I'll call it a day. Get a new hobby.
Yeah, you've succeeded.
Yeah, I've done it. Now on to the harmonica.
Finally, my real dream.
This prison of comics, free.
It's fun. What about you, Steven? What's your inspiration there?
Obviously, Bill Watterson. That was a huge one. Actually, I did this really cool. We don't live there anymore, and I actually had to paint over it. But I did this mural of Calvin and Hobbes, and like the girl, I can't remember her name.
Susie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was the head of the. Wait, no, he was the head of the Girls Are Really Disgusting. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, I did a mural of that for our son when he was born, and I had to paint over it when we got renters. Like we rented our place out,
Yeah.
And they were like, "We don't like the mural." I was like, "Well, you might not be our renters now, I'm jerk.
I feel like that would be like the one requirement, right?
You guys are assholes."
Who said they didn't like it?
I don't know. Because they're crazy bastards. I don't.
No, I mean like really, what are their names?
Oh, what are their
Who
names?
are they? Let's
Hey, where they
kill
live.
them now.
They Bill Watterson is a huge one. Foxtrot. I love Foxtrot so much. I think it's like Scott McAdams. That was a big one. Obviously Charles Schultz and all the old funnies comics, except for like the ones that weren't geared towards me, like Mary Worth and Family Circus.
Yeah.
All the ones like Zitz and Foxtrot I really loved, and a lot of illustrators. Like I love Dave McKean. A lot of the stuff he did for the Sandman series was like just phenomenal, and he actually did a lot of album covers for some bands that I used to really listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I'd say almost there's way too many to really kind of like put them anywhere. I mean, there's just so many artists I remember reading and looking at their stuff, and I was just like dumbfounded by it, and I wanted to emulate it. Like Todd McFarlane, the guy who did Spawn, was I love that stuff. It was so cool. But
Yeah, I find when growing up, I love comics. I love buying them and reading them, but I had no ambitions to make comics. This all came much later in life. My memories of are from the newspaper, and then essentially from kids' books. Again, so that's probably why Shel Silverstein. Like I had all the Calvin and Hobbes because he's awesome, and all the Far Side books. But I never thought of it as like, oh, this like as artwork,
Yeah, totally.
It was just something that was funny and I thought was awesome. But I think once you start thinking about making them yourself, then you start looking at the art a bit more and appreciating it. Thinking about like all the choices they made for different strips. Like, that's why Bill Watterson. I mean, not only the content is so great, but you look at some of the artwork and it goes from like a super simple page to like these really beautiful. Well, I guess like the mural in your son's room, right? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, the very like that was cool. Like his like the landscapes while they're riding down the hill in a wagon.
Mm-hmm. And those landscapes really make that comic more meaningful. They're always about like the fleetingness of life for him. and like just zooming past all these beautiful things, and it doesn't work as well if you don't really stop and like appreciate the artwork, which most people don't when they read comics anyway, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Spend all this time on a panel, and then people notice like a mistake you made, but they won't notice like all the other stuff.
Yeah, you work hours and it's one typo, and that's all anyone will tell you about.
Well, and this is why I always find it hard to spend a lot of time on comic, like on the actual drawing. I'll get lots of comments and flack from people on Reddit that like my drawings suck, but to be honest, it doesn't matter to me because it's people aren't going to look at it really anyway. There's like a few people that do, but um, people like it. I don't think it matters matters really what it looks like. It's like that's your style and that's just the way it is. But for me, it's just I don't hold it in that high of an importance. And it's probably because I don't have the time to do it, but also at this point, I don't really want to invest too much time in like making a panel look beautiful.
Yeah.
There's something to be said of like you gotta know how like to communicate the idea and kind of get out of there. I feel like that's part of like webcomics, and I've gotten like obsessed with like all that. Who does that? Chris Halleck, who does Maximals.
Yep.
I mean, he does it like just the bare minimum of stuff, and his stuff is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's his style, right? You recognize it anytime it pops up.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen him say a couple of times. He's like, I don't draw a background because it doesn't make the joke funnier.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But I mean, I think that being said, if I was doing something longer, or it's not that I don't think it's important. It's just for my strip, it's not important.
Yeah.
But do I think it's people should be doing it? Yes, definitely. I love seeing it. I love seeing how talented people are. I just think for this, what I'm doing now, it's not something I want to put any time into.
Yeah, that's where Watterson was good too, because he could just do Calvin sitting alone in a panel, and like very minimum to the huge like Spaceman Spiff stuff.
Yeah.
And all work together. Like he knew when to push all that stuff and when not to.
You almost got the sense that like he once in a while he was like just wanted to show people that he was an awesome artist. So he would do like the Spaceman Spiff comics or Imagination one.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I can draw. I'm just gonna show you, and then I'll go back to these simple ones again.
Yeah.
I think my Count Chocula here is. I don't think I want to add anything else to it.
Yeah. I think I'm done here as well.
Yeah, I think I'm out. Wait, there we go. Okay.
I like
Those are
that.
both great.
It's a day job. Get it? He's on fire. Vampires.
Oh, that's good.
What should you say? I'm a sample.
I'm just a simple country vampire lawyer.
Yeah.
Chris, I like that, Chris. There's just no more chocolate in the world.
Mhm.
It's awesome.
Well, I thought we were going on the idea that he's a real vampire, but he dips himself in chocolate each morning.
Just has to hose himself down every afternoon.
It's a kick-ass backstory.
Right. Have you seen that new vampire movie? What's it called?
Is that in the? Yes, that is so good.
Okay.
It's like a comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the guy from
The Flight of the Conchords.
Concords. Thank you.
Yeah, Jermaine, and then who does that? It's the same guy who directed Shark vs. Eagle
Yeah,
and Boy. If you've ever seen either of those.
but it's done in the Office sort of mockumentary style.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they're like, why do we drink the blood of virgins? And he's like, wouldn't you like the sandwich better if nobody had sex with it?
Yeah. Just think I would enjoy a sandwich more if I knew it hadn't been fucked first, I believe is the quote.
What's that called, man? I've been meaning to check that out. Like,
What We Do in the Shadows.
That's right. Yeah. Is it on Netflix?
I don't know where I saw it. I think.
I had to watch it on Amazon Prime. They had it like rented for $1 or something, but I don't think it's on Netflix.
I love Netflix, but sometimes I'm just like, why can't I have all of these shows I want on Netflix?
Yes.
Well, that's all you have, so you have to.
Like Sopranos, I'm a huge fan of that show, and I want to go back and rewatch all of it again. But of course, it's not going to be on Netflix because they're trying to put it on HBO Go, and I think you can pay on Amazon for it. But
You know, it is on Netflix, Columbo. So I don't really know what else you need.
is that it? That's all you need. It's incredible. Like, there's an insane amount of like Star Trek on Netflix. I've been kind of like nerding out, catching up on all the shows that I remember. Like, obviously Next Generation, but like even like Deep Space Nine and Voyager and like Enterprise, which I've never watched.
Oh yeah, I've been
Even
watching.
Trekkies, the documentaries, Trekkies.
They're so good. You watch them both?
I finally did. I finally caught the second one, and it's ridiculous.
Sorry, I went away. What were we talking about?
Star Trek's being better than Star Wars.
That's an incorrect statement, but
I'm glad I went away. But yeah, I mean, it's like whatever you're born into. That's like if you're born like a New York Mets fan, not a Yankees fan, then you're just that for life. I was born into a Star Wars family.
that's
I
true.
just wasn't raised on Star Trek.
I saw Star Wars. I think I was more digestible as a kid than like Star
Yeah.
Trek. Why are there so many episodes? I don't care.
Yeah, I like Star Trek. I don't feel like I've seen it as much as I have Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, I do like both. I mean, you're right. It's kind of like what I guess my dad was into, and so I was like, yeah, it is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a huge. I know all the Billy Joel songs. My dad loved Billy Joel, and he was from Long Island, so I'm like, now I just have all this knowledge of Billy Joel songs that I probably should.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Oh, and
Oh,
Simon
yeah.
Garfunkel, and what kind of things are we going to be passed? Like, Stephen, what music are you going to pass down to your kids? You have such a knowledge of music, and such a love of it. How are you going to choose?
I don't. I mean, obviously, like some. I think so. I started out with the Beatles. Like I'm taking it in like, I guess waves. I'm gonna get like some later Beatles in there and some '70s Elton John, and then push it into like maybe some really like the more artsy '80s stuff. That was good. That was behind the scenes, like David Byrne and Talking Heads and a bunch of that stuff. And eventually punk. I mean, just whatever. Really, they're gonna like their own stuff, and
There's gonna be so much coming out.
So I mean, it's really kind of hard to say because really all they like they love David Bowie. I've been playing a lot of David Bowie for them,
Yeah.
and they're huge fans of that. But like, they're also like really big fans of what is it? The theme song from Mickey Mouse. The hot dog song.
Yeah.
Is that
So
the
it's
They Might
like-
Be Giants one?
Yeah, that is. You're right. They
There you go.
they sing a lot of those songs actually. I don't know how they got the contract, but Disney's paying them well, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, take that money if you can get it, right?
They might be Giants they don't have it anymore, but they used to have an awesome like podcast for kids that has like tons of great fun songs. Like, they're all for kids, like they're all educational, but
Yeah.
still I play them all the time for my students in school.
They have the two good albums, right? The No and the Science one.
Mhm.
All the ones that are about the science song. I can't wait to get my kid into that. Just like keep pushing it on him.
I know it's hard. You have to get to know when to. The reality is they probably won't like the same things you do.
Yeah, I've accepted that.
I think the key though is to be like for me with movies. I love movies and I'll watch any movie. I'll find the good in it. So no matter what his choices in movies are, I'll be okay with it. Um, that's my hope as a parent is that he'll watch movies with me when I'm older, like once a month. If he gives me that, and I feel like I've done a good job.
Yeah.
That's a good goal. It's that
Yeah.
movie night.
What movies? What movie are you guys watching now, or like that he's lately into?
He's getting more and more into. I mean, obviously any animation movie we'll see in the theater. Like those are no brainers. But I've been trying to get him to watch, like things that are not animation but still, you know, decent movies. I can't go into the foreign subject because you can't read. But we'll do like Jurassic Park. We'll try and we'll do things like that. Slowly getting him into the real movies. I don't think we'll be watching them, but mostly now with Netflix, I find that he gravitates towards. He'll just watch episodes of cartoons. So now I just have to suggest good cartoons to him.
Yeah.
We watched like all of the whole Avatar series, both of them. He was really into that for a while.
So is that on Netflix? I actually haven't been able to find it.
Avatar's not on Netflix, but I had it saved on my computer and it's a download. Just probably for that reason. I was like, I'm gonna watch this again eventually.
Okay. Like after you guys were talking about it, like I remember you were tweeting about it, like the end of it, and I was like, okay, I gotta go watch this, and do it justice because I had seen parts of the Shyamalan one, the M Night one.
Oh no.
And it was like embarrassingly
Awful.
terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw it in the movie theaters. And it was just like heartbreak.
It was, you know what? It came out right around my birthday, and I was really excited.
Oh no.
I was so excited to see it. I guess like my wife was like, "I'm gonna take you to see this. It comes after your birthday." And then I remember that morning or the night before seeing on Metacritic it had like a 20, or I guess like a 17, which just there's no way that there's any redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
And the cartoon is just so goddamn lovable that it did. A little piece of me died. Well, you just have to forget. It just sucks because now they'll never make that movie.
Yeah, it was just like there was so much you could do with it, and it was just like, oh man.
But maybe that's good. Maybe they shouldn't have. Maybe the cartoon it will always be what it is. And,
Yeah, they can't take that away.
Yeah, I think like if there was going to be a director attached to it, he would have had to have like reimagined it or something. It had to have been that type of director. They didn't need to reimagine it, but they would pull somebody in like Christopher Nolan or somebody, and he would basically just hire his brother to take a new spin on it or something.
right. That's what I feel like he tried to do. He made it look all very dark. It wasn't funny or anything.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, I don't know. They put more restrictions on the stuff. It was just like you didn't even get the good little shots of all the elements and things.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know. The cartoon, I really like it. So that kind of thing, I definitely. Now I just have to find good cartoons to push on.
Yeah. Let's see, from the chat, if you want to draw another one, we got a superhero punching an endangered animal. Which I think could be.
Sure.
So pick your endangered animal and just punch it as hard as you can.
What's I don't even know the dodo bird. Isn't every
That's
animal?
extinct, I think. I don't think.
Are we arguing technicalities here? It needs to be highly endangered right now.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Vulnerable.
Well, that's any animal.
Yeah.
All animals are going to be.
Endangered.
Endangered.
There's things soon.
On a long enough timeline, we're all gone.
Yeah. There's a good chance here to make a very deep political statement.
As deep as I get.
It's like Nuclear Man punching just everyone, all the animals.
I'm actually going to look up a list here. I don't know if that's cheating. Species.
I'm looking at the same list, I think.
Oh, the panda comes up first. He already has black eyes.
What was that?
The panda comes up first. The panda already has black eyes. He's already been punched.
I feel like there's a really sad, like, I don't know, domestic violence joke there. It's not that he's hitting me, it's that I'm endangered. It's okay. I don't know. Don't listen to me. This
Like the other bears saying something about it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
You know what movie I saw that reminds me of that I was really excited about, but like totally dropped the ball was two ways was Dragon Ball Z.
Oh my God, there's a movie of that too, right?
What's that?
There's a movie of that as well.
Yeah, it was garbage, man. Don't go see it. Like if you get a chance, like it's absolutely terrible.
I was gonna say that's how good the job the movie did. If you don't even know it existed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on an endangered species list here, and I'm not sure it's real. It says threatened, like things that are threatened to go endangered, and there's like every animal on it: cow,
Yeah.
crab. Oh my God.
You know, bumblebees are going extinct, so I think that counts, right?
Yeah, bumblebees. Chameleons. It's a quoll. Quoll.
I don't know.
Sounds delicious.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it's endangered, right?
That's pretty cute. The marsupial.
Just all marsupials. Oh no, that's what it is. It's a
That's
marsupial.
what it is. Yeah.
Oh, every kangaroo and koala.
Every marsupial ever is.
Take that, Australia.
Yeah.
I would think sharks maybe, or some form of shark with all the fishing,
Yeah.
or even fish in general.
The great white shark is endangered. I saw a video about Gordon Ramsay talking about those, like running around and yelling at people about eating sharks. So now that you have the tablet, is it a ton different than drawing on the pen and paper, or do you still do the pen and paper stuff?
Oh, I'll almost always do my comic with the pen and paper still, just because I'm faster at it.
Yeah.
But it's not. No, I like them both. Like they're not much different because I have the screen on the tablet. It's essentially just like drawing on paper. What I do like about it, the tablet over the pen and paper, is that if I don't like, I find the ink or the nib on the Micron pens doesn't last very long for me. So
Okay.
if I'm using one for too long, that'll slow me down because it just doesn't work as well. And I like with the tablet, I don't need to buy anything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy paper every week. And, but I don't know. I started the comic became what it is on paper. I don't feel like I can change that.
When you go digital, do you still letter by hand, or how do you deal with that?
Um, yeah, I still letter it all by hand. I use the one font for like my when I type at the bottom. It's just a font I picked for whatever reason at the beginning. And I use it in the book for all the I use it for all the titles. But then
Yeah.
the lettering I just write it. Just it's another one of those time saver things. Like I don't. Some people do the word bubbles. I just don't do that either. If it fits, I just try to fit it into the box. Um, because some people spend a considerable amount of hours on one comic. Dave Mercier was saying he spends like eight hours on a comic, and his comics are beautiful. But I just don't have that time.
I think I've crossed that threshold already. Oh, there's been some multi-day ones that I've done before, and like I think the latest I've ever stayed up was 5 in the morning, and I didn't really kind of like I was not even with it the next day at work. But I'm like to a point where I just cannot do that anymore.
It can't. One, like I'm too old. Like I find that I'm ruined if I stay up too late, and I don't get anything done for the next few days.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you were saying. Like, people don't look that deep at them. So I've done it where I've spent like hours, like just obsessing about this stuff, and it's like nobody cares if the joke isn't good or like the main like crunchy bits aren't good, and no one cares about that fluff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me, or maybe that's just been my experience. But.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just sort of the like cynical way I've sort of looked at comics since I've started this, but because you'll hear lots of when you read comments on a lot of people who think otherwise, right? So, um,
Yeah, but they're still reading your comic, I think.
right? They're angrily reading my comic and
yeah. If they're so good at it, they would be making their own.
Yeah, wishing they were.
Yeah.
I know the comments. I love reading them and I hate it at the same time. Just I just don't. It sort of makes me like angry happy.
I love reading them like when it starts a conversation. Obviously, like if somebody's just dogging on my work, I'm like, all right, whatever, what a jerk, and I move on. But like whenever it actually starts, kind of like a lot of commentary, I think it's like fascinating to like see other people's opinions on the same way, on the like that are somewhat on the same wavelength than I am.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. But I do find I'm fascinated by the people that will dog your comic, like dog any comic, just because, like, first of all, who does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just like click away. You're spending more time on this comic.
No, it's you're purposely like being a dick. I don't understand. Like, it's just so outside of like what I would do in any area of my life. And, and if people always say, "Oh, it's probably just someone whose comic isn't doing well," something like that. And it's like, well, that's even worse because if there's anyone who's gonna like that person's comic, it would be me. Like, um, so it just baffles me. It makes me kind of sad at the same time to think like there's just someone with just a mean spirit out there, just wants to be mean to people.
I always wonder if they're trying it out. If they're just trying to like, if there's some 14-year-old kid that's like, hey, I want to try wielding this power for a little bit.
I got a mean comment on one of mine on Reddit, and then I was just like, well, I can go see all this other person's comments. So I did, and they were all just like equally just like disgruntled. They were just grumpy. I was like,
yeah, like I think some people think the villain.
Yeah, it's like I don't know why you get on a site just to be like, oh, you guys are stupid. Like all the time, that's all the conversations were. It's just like. Is that all you do? I guess whatever makes you happy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the internet gives a forum for that. So,
Yeah.
but, but yeah, it is. And I bet those people are not like that in real life. So, if that's the way they want to yield their power, then it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not really hurting anyone.
I've seen people like actively challenge it too. They're like, "Oh yeah, well, what do you think now?" kind of thing. Like, there's one dude that we kind of followed that tried it out and like just brought on this like storm of hate from this one guy and just kept like I don't know, just trying to one up the argument. And I was like, just let it go. Just like it's no big deal, you know. It's this guy's just like in the long grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter one bit, you know.
Yeah.
You kind of have to let people do whatever they're gonna do anonymously online.
Yeah. If they're gonna be jerks, they're just gonna be jerks. I like the kill 'em with kindness method. It's like, well, I hope your day gets better.
Yeah.
I hope taking you out whatever you took out on me.
I usually just go with I just agree with them.
It's a good
Like,
strategy.
you're totally right. Yeah, I agree. It does suck.
Dude, Mark Lavin of Uber Tool, he'll like do a drawing of them and put them on his site with a comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like-
He's in the hate section. It's hilarious.
That comic is so good. Marks is just his stuff is great.
Yeah, that guy's so funny.
He came to visit me. I was lucky enough to be in his presence.
Whoa.
You met him?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Webcomic.
Is he just like Jesus, like I planned he would be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just he came in a robe, nothing else. And we're trying to figure out a way we're gonna get all the webcomic people meeting in real life.
That would be incredible. I think that would make my year or decade even.
Yeah.
You know?
We just have to pick a location that's good for everyone. Some sort of weekend.
So your wife Danielle, doesn't she do kind of like a camp for adults?
Yeah, she does once. I mean, that's not her full-time job, but she does just like a side project. Every year she does like a camp for adults. Yeah, so she gets like people coming in from all over. She gets chefs from all over to make the food. And yeah, you just sort of you pretend you're not you don't pretend you're a kid, but you do all the stuff you would do at camp as if you were a kid. Fun. And there's also an open bar, which adds that element.
That sounds incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds just like the camps I used to go to. Open
Yeah.
bars.
I haven't started doing anything here. I'm like, oh wow, you guys. Oh my, I'm glad I didn't start drawing because you picked dolphin. That's what I started drawing, was a dolphin.
Oh.
But for no reason. Oh my god, you guys are really far ahead here. The other one was a turtle. Wow.
I was gonna go turtle, then I saw that, and I was gonna go polar bear because I thought you were doing it, Chris.
I haven't only because you see all the white paper.
You haven't put in the eye marks yet, the domestic abuse marks.
I've been like looking at. I just sort of got lost in this list of endangered animals here.
A lot of them are really exotic, and like you'd have to kind of have a disclaimer as to what it is. Like a fennec fox, like what is?
Yeah.
Chris, my wife and I have seriously considered like packing up the kids and like moving to Canada one day.
You should.
It's so beautiful there, man. Like a lot of the images we've seen are just like incredible, and plus like it's just well, healthcare, but
Wow, this is amazing. Yeah. We also in Ontario have 80% of the world's fresh water, so when the apocalypse comes,
There you go.
there you go. Well, it's good for many things. And I'm not even a Canadian citizen, but I'm sort of enjoying the fruits of this fine country.
So is Danielle a citizen, or are you guys like just kind of like on a visa, or how does that work, or green card? I don't
He's,
know.
he's a citizen. Um, we were both teaching in Taiwan 10 years ago, so and then I sort of just followed her back here and didn't leave.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah, that's how most life stories go. Go to Taiwan, you meet someone, you follow them back to their country.
How was teaching in Taiwan? That sounds incredible.
It was awesome. I really liked it. It was there. I mean, teaching is what I wanted to do anyway, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Taiwan was a lot of fun. I really like. I don't know if I'll ever go back, but at that time in my life, it was just what I needed, and it was hilarious. Like because none of the kids spoke English. We were essentially just this big. I mean, I was just essentially this big dumb entertainer. So it was 99% entertaining and like maybe 1% teaching,
I,
which I really enjoyed. But yeah, and it's carried over into my job now. Like as a teacher, you gotta get the kids engaged. And a big barrier is that they don't speak the language. And you have to do it in like some other creative way. So
Do your students read your comic?
no, I don't even. That's one of the reasons I don't really put my name on it. Not in my. I have very young. My students are all it's elementary school, so they wouldn't anyway. And even if they did discover that I made a comic, I don't think they would give it like, would care at all. Um, but yeah, no, not once has any kid ever discovered it. So
I mean, yes, it's only a matter of time, though, right? I mean, because your stuff hits the front page quite often. I'm assuming some of them are Reddit age.
you know what? I think that most kids though wouldn't. Kids don't look at teachers as people. No, they don't. I think most kids believe, and I think back to when I was, a kid. I think most kids think their teachers, um, like just climb into the closet at the end of the night, turn off the lights, the janitor sweeps around them, and that's it. And then in the morning, they flip on the lights, and they come out of the closet, and they sit down at the desk, and that's what teachers are. And they think they have lives outside, and to think that your teacher was creating something that was even semi-popular, I think that'd be too much for their brains to handle. So even if they saw it, they wouldn't, they would not. Even if they saw it, they saw my name on it and my picture next to it. I think they would still question. They'd be like, no, that's not Mr. Grady,
Not that guy.
not that guy, not that jerk.
That's how I feel the same way, except instead of students, I think of that like my family. I don't think they've seen half my stuff, or like they know about it, but I don't think they read it. I think they're just kind of like every once in a while, my mom's like, "Oh, he's so handsome," and I'll share it.
That's your mom said?
Yeah.
Oh no, my mom is like my number one fan. She's awesome.
Your
My mom travel. She's also a teacher, but she'll travel in the summer, and she goes to like Australia. She goes to Hawaii. She always just travels. And I have cards. That same as you. I remember you had those cards, Stephen, that you just drop places. And she puts those cards. She'll just go up to people and say, "Oh, my son makes a comic. You have to check it out." Like I've gotten so many emails from people saying they've met my mom. Like she is for sure my number my number one fan.
See, that is awesome.
that
Yeah,
is awesome.
I love it. I always anytime I shouldn't say this like like how many viewers are watching this right now. So I don't want to get a ton of viewers.
It's like 4.
We have 5 watchers, so you
All
know.
right. So like anytime someone's like, oh my, your mom sent like gave me a card. I met your mom. She's lovely, and I often will like send them a book just as like because I think it's just so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Dude, that really sticks with people. So, do you know David Wong at all? Do you guys, is his name ring a bell at all? He's like one of the editor-in-chiefs for Crack.com, and like back when that site used to be good and not BuzzFeed, but like
Yeah.
I wrote the guy one time. I'm like, man, your site's awesome when it was awesome, but like I really love your stuff. Like, where can I buy your book? And he's like, where you live? And he just sent me a book with like this doodle in it, and of his novel. Like he has this horror novel that actually got turned into a film.
That's awesome.
But it was like, man, that's so cool. Like I still like kind of email back and forth with him every once in a while. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, I think I've sent lots of books out too. Just I don't know. Sometimes you get an email and you know that it'll make someone's day. And like how often, like in my life, I'm not gonna have that sort of power in any other place where I can just be like, here's something I made that's gonna make you happy. I can do it with my family, but like strangers, no. So I think it's the cost of shipping is nothing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You're like the exact opposite of the trolls or doggone comics.
Yeah, it's like a positive troll.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool though. It's I don't know. Like I don't know how long this comic thing will last for me, and I might as well just soak it up, do what good you can with it while it's there.
Do you think you ever might reach a level where you're gonna cut out teaching and just kind of go full time?
I had this conversation with um, Danielle recently since Webtoons. Um, and the book, the first book still sells pretty well. And I'm busy, right? I don't have free time anymore. Like that doesn't. I don't even know what that looks like. Uh, I say, and it's great about teaching in at least Toronto and Ontario. You can take time off. Like our union's so good that we can just. If I wanted to take a year off and go back to my same job in a year, I could. I wouldn't get paid, but so I've considered taking a year off. Not this year, but if things are continuing in the way they are, I might do it next year. Just for the year, I would never like. I love teaching. I'm not looking for a new career,
Yeah.
uh, but just because I have this opportunity right now, like it's I like doing it. I'd like to see how far I can take it. I may not get an opportunity where people are paying me to draw ever again. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I think to say like I'll take a year off, it feels okay to me. I think if I was like, this is what I want to do, I think that would stress me out. Um, Only because I don't think I have like that's. I like doing this, but I like it as like a side job. I just don't have the intense passion for it that I think a lot of artists do. But then again, I've also never tried it as a full-time thing. So I usually when I'm doing this, I'm exhausted and hoping to be finished with it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good to know that like you have that kind of option, and see like to explore.
Yeah, I would definitely like without even I would just if I could take the year off, I would have done it this year actually. But the job I have right now, like the actual job within teaching is really easy and it's a lot of fun. Like, I teach media and technology to like kindergarten to grade 4, like the best job ever. Um, I don't even have a classroom, so I can like I can plan a lesson for like, the beginning of the week and just sort of do it throughout the week, so I don't have to do a lot of work after school, which allows me to continue doing this at night. If you have your own classroom, then you doing a lot of extra stuff. Like teachers work really hard.
Yeah.
But like if I took a year off, then who knows what I'd be coming back to. But I know I think I heard an interview, at least with you, Stephen. You were on like the Twix.
Yeah, man. That's.
I heard that podcast, and you had been saying that you would like to do this as like a full time.
I would like. I love doing science. I really do. But I mean, it's really cathartic to like draw, and it would be like I'd love to do this like temporarily, and at least like if it became something on the level where I could just focus on art only, I think that would be incredible. Like it's great what I do, and I really enjoy like working with patients and genetic data. But it's definitely like a problem-solving career. But it's such an always changing career that you never really know like where it's going to be in 5 or 10 years.
Right.
So our entire job is built kind of around like making ourselves obsolete in a way because we're all building software to kind of do what we do. And so there's going to come a time, maybe like 10 years, where we're just going to not really be needed in the genetic field.
Yep, for sure. I have a buddy who does like he was doing sort of like what is it? Like radiology, I want to say. There's like an isotopes shortage. Is that a thing?
I don't
Anyway,
know. Might
anyway.
be.
I have a friend who did radiology, and he said, yeah, there was like a huge gap of people because like the first people who got hired in the 70s just stuck with it for years.
Right, and there's just not that many jobs in it, right? So
Yeah. Because they all would stick in that job, and once they all quit, there's going to be a ton of jobs, but
right,
not
yeah,
until you have
like
to wait.
a lot more now. But yeah, do you feel like that your job will exist? Uh, I mean,
Like yeah, but in a different setting. Like I work in a clinical lab right now, so we have patients. We try to figure out what's wrong with them on a genetic level. But like what'll happen is like after kind of becomes like an automated process, our entire field moves into research. Instead of like a diagnostic setting where we solve problems with patients, we try and solve problems that exist like on a different level, like you know, try and solve other problems like autism or cancer, like on a genetic level.
right.
So again, I love what I do, but I just don't know. Maybe I'm just hedging my bets or something.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is like I don't know. I just enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff too is like, who knows where technology is going to go? Everything is like changing so much. I was thinking about that for like my daughter. It's just like whatever job she's probably going to do hasn't been made yet.
Yeah.
None of that stuff exists. So she needs more than she needs like a certain set of skills. She needs for to know XYZ things. She needs to know how to learn and all that.
Or it's a job that exists that no one takes seriously right now, like farming.
Yeah. Like no one does that, and then it's just like that's what everyone does.
Everyone has to do that.
Yeah.
Shit farming.
Yeah.
Dude, so I saw a picture I think that you tweeted out. Do you guys farm in your front yard?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, no, we do have something growing in our front yard, but it's not. I wouldn't call it a farm. It's like some lettuces and stuff.
That's still cool.
No, that's really cool. We've checked into that. I think our HOA is against it, but like I really wanted to kind of run that route and see if like I can fight for it or something like that. Because dude, I hate having a lawn. I think it sucks.
Oh yeah. What's the point? Why do you want grass? We don't have green thumbs here, but Danielle is really like her job is in food security, so we do care about food and where it comes from. But
Right.
grass, what does it do? Just
Exactly. So we try and do that whole. I mean, we're pretty local for a lot of our food selection, so we try and hit up as much as we can from the local farms. But it would be really nice to grow our own. And I just really, I think the whole grass thing is dumb. So we're trying to turn our backyard already into it because nobody cares there. But people are starting to like have a problem with us doing the front yard. It's just like really, like why, you know?
it is, it is illegal here. Not illegal, but well, yeah, it's illegal. The law says you can't do it, but I don't know. I can't imagine someone complaining. But yeah, I guess if you know of people who are complaining, then that's a different story. But do you live in a like city or?
Yeah, it's well, it's not like it's a city ordinance. Like the city doesn't give a crap, but the it's more of a neighborhood thing. You know, there's kind of like a I guess that so they call it a homeowners association that we subscribe to that keeps like the lights on in the neighborhood, and there's a pool in our neighborhood that we kind of like take the boys to and stuff. And so there, because we're a member of that, like there are certain things that like they pass that we have to like abide by, and getting certain things changed is kind of like a process. I mean, they're not a bad HOA. It's just they do a lot of really cool things, but that would be something that we would really like to kind of pursue.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's therapeutic and it's fun to do, and you wind up like your own food, and I don't know, you appreciate food more when you do it yourself. We once tried to grow like cherry tomatoes, and I think in the year we grew one cherry tomato that came off that tree or that vine. That's it. But we loved the hell out of that fucking cherry tomato.
Split it three ways.
Yeah, exactly. So you ever see the Christmas Carol Mickey Mouse one where they get like the one pea, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For Tiny Mouse Tim.
yeah, exactly.
We did that one year. I made a comic about it actually, but we took some of our old um, some crap in our like we were just drunk, but we took a bunch of crap in our fridge that was perishable, you know, and would decompose properly, and we threw it in the ground.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of like old vegetables. We're like, hey, let's see what wins. You know, it's like 20 vegetables enter, but like one leaves.
Nice.
So we threw them all on the ground, and it ended up being an onion. And
Yeah, onion is. I put that money on onion too.
it was awesome. I was like, yeah, we ended up cooking that thing. It was great. Like you said, it's kind of like one of the best onions you ever have. You
Right.
know, you put in some olive oil, and the whole house smells like victory.
There was tears coming out of their eyes, but it wasn't from the actual onion. We're just so happy.
Yeah.
I did this.
Yeah.
Let's see what who did you guys pick? Did you guys pick Superman?
I picked High Five Man.
Oh, that a fun.
It was an S, but then now that I'm looking at this picture, that's got to be a high five. But he's punching him too, I guess.
He's going back against his nature. This is his fall from grace.
Maybe the elephant wouldn't high five him. And really, it's the elephant's fault.
I think he's a little clumsy.
Doesn't know his own strength yet.
Yeah, exactly.
New to the planet, you know, we're getting to feel out for everything.
Great strength comes.
Great.
I'm obsessed with like going over all my lines again. You guys have like something you do with all your drawings?
Not the like once I so I'll do them all in really faint. Actually, sorry, I can find it. I still have that layer.
Is it properly named? Is really the question.
I have layer 1 and layer 2. That's about all I do.
I name them in, yeah, here we go. So I'll do them all in non-photo blue, kind of thing. Even when I do real comics too, on paper. But I'll put them all in non-photo blue and then go back over with the black. Let's see if I can find that now. Yeah, and then just go one layer over in the black. But you always retrace like right over the black lines?
It was fun when I erase the pencil out that I just don't like the thickness of the line, or I just foresee it being scanned and looking like garbage. So I usually I'll mostly go over the outline of things, never like the detail inside. Or I'll wind up if you don't, it's not a dark enough line, and then you drop some paint in it, and it fills the whole page.
Yeah.
Go over areas like that. I feel like I've been doing everything wrong since the beginning. That if I ever took a class on how to draw a comic, it would just, like, I sort of want to do that because I would just be astounded at how these things are actually done.
That's part of it, though. I mean, I think it's just baby steps in learning how to get it.
And everybody does it their own way. So I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily a wrong way to draw. Maybe not as many people agree with that, but
I think maybe it's less the like how to draw, but more the idea that I'm using the tools in a way, like a hammer was made for a certain job, and it's like me using a hammer, but like with the back end of it instead of the actual hard part. I'm just like poking away at the nail. Like I'm gonna get the nail in eventually, but I'm not doing it properly.
I'll do that. So it's like I'll go back and look at my old stuff from when I started. And it's like almost embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I have that when I look at my first book. I have that feeling all the time. They're those first ones because you didn't really know what you were doing or whatever. I don't even want to look at them. But at the time, I remember maybe you feel the same way with yours. Like at the time, I loved the first comics I made. I'm so proud of them.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
absolutely.
totally. Yeah. This is the
was
greatest thing I've ever drawn.
Everything since then.
Yeah. Oh gosh. What is that?
There actually, I went back, so I saved all my my Photoshop files, and so I have them from the beginning. I went back to open the first one. There's only one layer, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was trying to put it in the book,
Yeah. So what? It didn't work then?
No, it worked. I just had to clean it a little bit, to put it in the book, and just having it on one layer was really tough. I don't know why. I was under this mindset that like I had to put the copyright. I had to move it a little bit, and since it was all one flat layer, I had to pretty much erase it and recreate it somewhere else.
I did that I still do that when I do the books. I erase all the. I have to go in and erase all like the copyright, like my website and everything like that. Like I never go back to the Photoshop file. That's probably why the quality is never good. I just like to think that people are like, oh, that's just the way it looks like. Not that they think, oh, this is just terrible quality. He doesn't know how to save a file properly. The problem also is when I'm saving files, it's like 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock at night, and I'm exhausted. So I don't even bother putting it in folders half the time. There's just comments all over this house. They're everywhere.
Thumb drives, desktops.
There is. Danielle was like, you need to organize your shit. One of the best goals, rewards I had for last Kickstarter was giving away some of the actual comics because like it worked well for me. My house started getting clean again. I just collected all the comics that were in every drawer and shelf and just gave them to people.
Good idea, though. I've got a lot that I just really need to get rid of. I had this idea when I started that I was gonna I was really into the Dave Kellett and the guys from Webcomics Weekly.
Yeah.
He had we talked about this before, but he had talked about how how a third like of his income was from like original artwork, you know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make millions, but nobody really ever bought it. But I'm just ready to like kind of give them away because I'd rather like give it to the fans, you know.
Yeah, for sure. It means something to somebody.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them anymore, like my stuff, like some of mine.
I know that feeling. I've done everything, mostly digital. So it's nice. Now I just have a bunch of folders and crap on the desktop. So I'm glad I don't have it around.
That's good too. That you caught your. I mean, like, I, none of mine are quality. Like they're all. I can look back at the comics from the beginning, and they're not. The files are so. I didn't. They're so improperly like saved and kept that they look terrible. I kind of wish I had them all on my computer and done. They were done on my computer.
When you started, did you just scan them all in, or did you always have like a digital process part of it?
I think I always dropped Gray in. I I started. I have a it's like a moleskin notebook. It's really small. Um, so I was just doing it as like this therapeutic activity. Um, and whatever fit on that little page, whatever I don't know, it was like postcard size almost. That's what that's what the comic was. I thought I would scan it, and well, I didn't even scan. I didn't scan it until like I was maybe 25 comics in. I discovered I was like I should put these. I wanted to put them on a website. But not for any reason except maybe to show some family and friends. I don't even know what my reasoning was.
You have like the
Um,
most humble way of like starting a webcomic.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's really cool to kind of just be like, you know, like you just kind of in a way came into it haphazardly.
I did. It's like there was never any intention of anything. It was people were like I think there was a few I was really proud of, and I would show them to people. But honestly, I didn't even know. Like I discovered a lot of probably what people, like all the people in webcomics, like as I like in the last few years. Some of them I think I maybe had seen, but I didn't know much about it. Um, I think my first interaction with webcomic people was you, Steven. You emailed me.
Yeah. That I remember the strip too. You had this one where like it was like you and Moshi and you're like, all right, I'll see you later, and he's like, ha, and he runs off. You fuck.
Yeah, the
He's
bluff.
like running towards him. That
Yeah,
was that was
that was done in that little notebook. I remember. I remember that was the first time I had this idea in my head where I was like, oh, I want to make a comic where every panel I only I can only use one word. I sort of set that like uh, that guideline. And I was really proud of that one. I remember.
oh, it was incredible. That's the one that hooked me. I showed that to my wife. And then like it was crazy because you were the first guest art I ever got, and I was like, it was surreal.
Oh, thank
Like
you.
I woke my wife up. This is before we had kids. I woke her up. Wait, no, we had a son.
It was probably just a baby there.
I woke her up. I don't know. She was mad. She's like, I'm going back to sleep. But I was like stoked, you know, because it was just cool to see somebody else like kind of tackle one of your characters.
That was that's did the comic. It was me and you, and I think I'm wearing a Kawa boner shirt. And
Yeah.
you did the
Turtles and penises.
yeah, and you did the is that the food one? The eat
Yeah,
free? Kids
that's
eat.
right, man. Yeah.
That was a great one. That one did well too on Reddit. I remember. Actually, all the ones you've done for me, have, they always kill on Reddit. The Peter Pan one you did last time, that one just nailed it, man.
Thanks, man. That was really intense. I got a lot of like random emails from dads. It was really that's what I was saying. Like when you really open up like a conversation, that one there was a lot of guys who were like kind of coming like emailing me about like I guess how like being a dad had really kind of defined them as a person, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was pretty wild to like kind of hear these other guys like talk about it. And it was, I was like, thank you so much.
And I think this is why I continue to make comic strips, is that you get just like the most wonderful sort of like you get so much frankness from people. People are so earnest with you when they talk about their kids, and the comic brings that out. Um, like it's for many people, yeah, of course, kids actually make them feel like their kids make them feel like they have meaning in their life. Whereas probably for like myself, for most people, like for your whole life, you're sort of just wandering, or you're just sort of floating in this world, like feeling lost. Like what the fuck is my purpose? And then you have a kid, you're like, oh yeah, now I know exactly what my purpose is. Now it all makes sense. Um, so yeah, I like getting that side of seeing that side of people. Just that these people who also have they have new kids and suddenly they're alive again. It's cool. Not every comic brings that out in people, but sometimes you hit that note, like your Peter Pan one.
Yeah, that Peter Pan one's great.
Thank you guys.
I will throw that in there too. I think
That's my opus. I don't think I'll ever do anything as good as that. Yeah.
That's
I
what
guess the one.
I have the one I did with like we all have powers, where the guy with the orange hat one.
Yeah.
That one, that's the one that like I'm always chasing now, because to me that's the comic that I felt like I nailed it with, and I have not been able in my mind to like just hit it that way again. But then you just like, keep making them.
It's an interesting thing to think about, though, like hitting that one, and then, you know, I don't know. I mean, that's. Yeah. Do you ever feel this way? Like you make something you're just like so incredibly proud of that took a lot out of you.
Yeah.
That you're just like, wow, man, that was really intense. That really is truly like some art that I created, and I feel proud of it. And oh my God, I'm so like, I guess in a sense, emotionally drained from doing that.
I often feel the ones I feel really nervous about. I have a couple that I've made that I've been just like personally in love with. I don't know if that sounds egotistical, just being in love with the comic you made, but where I'm like, I would hate for people to shit on this, because I like
Yeah.
it so much. But usually, I find that usually if you, not always, but like if it's something pretty sentimental to you, that people pick up on it. Even on Reddit, like I think people um, generally won't like crap on the ones that are really they're being really earnest or honest, and I don't know if I follow the rules with this drawing here, but I kind of like it. He's sort of punching the elephant. Are you guys still drawing the same thing? Have we all stopped it?
No, I'm just tweaking it. I don't really know where to go. Wes, your turtle is incredible. That's it.
Oh, I can't see. Oh, that is great. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's so weird. I just saw like on HGTV today. Apparently, like Vanilla Ice is like he has like a renovation show.
Yeah. I don't know. It's on Netflix. I haven't like gotten the will to watch it yet.
So I guess he's kind of struggling for cash. I guess I don't know.
Contracting's a good job, I guess. I don't know. I remember he was like a dirt bike racer for a while. I don't know why I know that much about Vanilla Ice's like post music career.
He had a behind the music special.
There it is. Yeah.
Rob Van Winkle.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. He actually So in like 98 or 99 or whatever, he redefined himself as like a hardcore
Yeah.
musician.
I missed that Vanilla Ice. That was my favorite ice.
That was your favorite level of ice.
That was my favorite level of ice. That like
Similar to Vanilla Sky.
yeah, that was probably the Vanilla Sky ice, I would say.
Right.
Oh, he was such a jerk on what was it, Surreal Life or whatever.
Oh yeah, man, I remember that show.
He went to like a karaoke bar and sang his hit song for a
They were
while.
like, play it. He's like, no, I'm done with that life. And then he played it, and then he sings it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, cool. Okay, I guess you just want the attention.
Okay, it's okay to be mad about it, but you know.
Like the thing that pissed me off about him was like he so blatantly ripped off that Under Pressure song by Queen and David Bowie.
No, there's the it's okay. There's a difference.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. He's like, no, that one's din 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 din. Among us, din 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 din.
Yeah.
So can't sue me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like to think he would say. Yeah, I'm out.
Have you guys seen The Martian yet?
I've not.
I'm reading the book. It's good.
You're reading the book right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm debating whether or not I should read the book first, just because I kind of try and do that with movies, but you know.
I don't normally do it. It's just I have a long subway ride, and I've had a bit. I don't know. I've had a hard time lately finishing books, but I find if I buy them off like those, like the rack at the drugstore, that the last few books I finished. So I'm just like, well, maybe I've been trying to read literature when I should just be reading like the paperback bestsellers. So that was why I saw a book with Matt Damon right on the cover, and I was like, well, this is like a movie. This is almost a movie. So I bought it, and it's written in a really easy to read way. So yeah, and then when I see the movie, I'm gonna like it even more. I mean, I'll enjoy it probably more than I've read the book.
Oh, okay. You have some incredible drugstores. All our drugstore novels are like romance novels, you know?
Oh, it's 19 of them were like, I thought this was a romance novel. Had Matt Damon on the front.
In space.
Yeah, he was beckoning to me. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Most of the books are garbage, but if it's selling at the drugstore, then usually it's it's just gonna be a page flipper. It was like all James Patterson and some other author who makes a million books about a detective, and then a bunch of like men in pirate outfits, like really muscly bodies. That's most of the books. There's always like one sci-fi book in there, and it's decent enough. And then I feel good about my life that I read a book. I've read a lot of bad books though.
What's the worst book you've read?
Lately? Well, you know what? I often will read young adult fiction. I don't know if that's considered bad.
Or like Hunger Games and stuff like that.
Well, Hunger Games is there's like the Maze Runner series that was just out.
Yeah.
So I read all those, and with Hunger Games you can sort of get away with being like, oh, this is okay, it's good. When you read something like the Maze Runner, you're like, this is not that good, but it's compelling enough. You want to know what happens next. And then if you watch the movie, it's the same thing. Like, this movie is not good, but I guess I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
I have a few Netflix series like that where it's like I guess I'm halfway invested enough to keep
Oh yeah, I mean that's like how TV survives. That's like its bread and butter. It's just like we're bad, but I know you want to know what happens next.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'm too lazy to find something else.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens here.
What Netflix is I've been watching what's the show I put on? Narcos. Have you seen that yet?
I haven't like dived into that. I've seen the previews for it or the little pictures. It's about like the drug lords in Mexico, right?
It's about
That's no, it's like Colombia or something.
Colombia, yeah.
Okay. It's like
And
how it all got set up over
it's
there.
I would say it's somewhat nonfiction, but I would imagine it's highly fictionalized. And but you watch one and then they give you have like 10 seconds to like do something else before they put on the next one.
Yeah.
So you don't really have a choice. It's entrapment.
Yeah. I'm here. I guess I'm in.
It says that you have 7 seconds. It should say you have 7 seconds to move on with your life.
Yeah. to do something today. Yeah.
I can't stand up that fast. And then the next one starts and I'm in it. But that's another show that I don't know is really like the books. Like I don't know if it's really good. It's certainly not the greatest TV, but I'll just keep watching it because I'm curious. Let's see what happens.
Do you have like a preferred thing to put on in the background when you guys draw?
I'll do podcasts. Like I'll do like This American Life or
Oh God, nice.
there's a lot of good ones that I'll put on. There's one I really like called there's not that many episodes called Mystery Show.
That one is great. The one about did you listen to the one with the illustrator? That was
It must have been one of the more recent ones, right?
yeah, I think it's the latest one. They talk about the Welcome Back, Cotter, and he watches the mailbox
Yeah,
or not the mailbox on Lunchbox.
yeah. No, that show's good. I don't know. There's so many podcasts that are good. There's a lot. There's also I like there's one Earwolf has a bunch that are funny, like comedy ones.
Oh yeah.
So there's one called Comedy Bang Bang that I think is really funny.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, that one I like.
I've watched the show a couple of times.
Yeah, they have a show now too. I find that that'll keep me sitting long enough to like get my work done. Usually, putting something on like that. Radio Lab is good.
I've heard good things about Radio Lab. I haven't watched it or listened to it.
I haven't heard that. That's a great name though.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sister show to This American Life, right?
It's similar. I think it's more of a science look
Okay.
thing.
I know they mention each other like a couple of times, or at least This American Life will give shout out to the Radio Lab.
Well, I think if you're like a well-known podcast, and at some point you've been connected to This American Life.
That's true. That's very
Like all the podcasts now, it's like a producer has left This American Life to start his own thing, and
yeah, that's very true.
I'm trying to think. Like even Mystery Show, that's what it is. Like it's people who have been on This American Life.
Yeah.
And then there was recently what was the big one, the big podcast I was at about the guy who they were trying to figure out if he was guilty. Serial, yeah. I think that was also the people involved in that were tied to This American Life.
Yeah, there was like a producer.
I think podcasts is one of those things. It blows my mind that people don't listen. More people don't listen to them.
There's this one I checked out recently that's been kind of awesome. It kind of reminds me of like old school radio, or like what old school radio would have been like. It's called We're Alive. It's like a zombie podcast where they just act out like over the It's just basically a drama of a zombie survival story, acted out over the microphone.
There's one called is it Welcome to Night Vale or This Is Night Vale? That's sort of also
Welcome to Night Vale.
Has this like radio drama feel to it, but it's also it's really funny.
I always compared it to. Did you ever see crap? Now I'm gonna Northern Exposure like back in the day.
Yeah.
I always compared it to like what if like Northern Exposure was set in like a Twilight Zone And that guy was on the radio, and this was just the radio show they always produced because it's so crazy. It's like just this weird town going on, and the guy's just talking about what's going on in town. Don't look at the secret police.
Exactly.
That show, like, honestly, you know what's weird about Northern Exposure? Like, an insane amount of people I know have that on DVD.
Really?
I never saw it till my wife had it on DVD, and at first I watched it and I was like, I can't stay awake through any episode. It was like, this is my kryptonite. And now I'm just like, I need to see more. It's so good. Though they changed up a lot of the music for the DVD. Some of the bigger tunes don't work as well. Have you listened to Reply All? I think it's one of those ones that's on the same Mystery Show channel and all that.
You guys had mentioned that before. I haven't had a chance yet. Like, I'm still trying to fix my iPod, but you know.
It's real like internet-based stuff. So if you're like really interested in like, they like talk to people who do like the scams for you know, they like send single women scams on like dating profiles. And they pretend to be someone in another country, and they're like, oh, we need some money to set up this new thing. They're the guys who are like scamming them like that. They talk about like what is it? There's like an online conspiracy about One Direction, and so they talk to a guy who inadvertently gets involved with it because he happens to have the same last name as one of the girls One Direction people date. I don't know. It's crazy.
That's insane.
It's definitely worth a listen to. It just like goes over like a crazy internet story each day. So.
What an insane conspiracy! Like that's the I mean, of course it's that way because there's 7 billion people in the world, so I'm sure that conspiracies happen like once or twice, just from statistical possibility. But like Jesus.
Yeah. This was the conspiracy is that like 2 of the members are gay, but like they can't come out. So there's all these like video clips where they're like one will say something to the other one, and it's just like taken way out of context.
Man, it's already like 12:30.
Yeah, you guys are up late.
Chris, you still awake?
Yeah, I'm still awake.
All right, sweet.
I don't know. I'm just looking at
We've got 8 hours slot according to YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We're going all 8 today. Just I hope that's what you knew what you were signing up.
Bringing the sunshine. Well, we get the sun a little bit earlier than you, I guess. Last time.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. We'll let you know how it is next time.
Yeah.
It's not there. Shit.
Dude, you're in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
Oh man, so when Y2K went down, my mom flipped out. Like before it was going on, she saved all these like milk jugs full of water in the basement. And she was like, "We're all gonna die." And so when it was coming up, like when it was like, she was like, "Here it comes! It's like 2 hours away." And she's like losing her mind, like it's about to happen, and like society's gonna break down. But like it had already happened for different parts of the world.
Yeah.
You know? And so I was like checking online. I'm like, they seem okay. I think we're gonna be fine.
Bring it down. Bring it down.
Well, yeah, I mean, Y2K was scary for lots of people. And then people would be like, well, that wasn't the real calendar. They're going, it's going to happen next year. And then 2012 was 2012 the last time there was like a big conspiracy?
Yeah, there was the Mayan calendar ended.
Oh, there, yeah.
Oh no, we had the Rapture thing too. Do you guys remember that?
You had that there, yeah, in the States. But.
Yeah, I know, it's just the States. So there's some like crack job who was like,
oh yeah,
this is the date for the Rapture. So like he had like 40 followers or something, and of course it didn't happen. Or I think like the joke, the
Sure
running
it didn't
joke was that
happen?
the only person to go up in the Rapture was Randy Savage because it was like literally the day like Randy Savage died.
He was the only one taken. That's
He was the only
brilliant.
one to go.
Yeah, maybe
It's
that's
our
it. Maybe we were all sinners, except for Randy Savage.
joke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, poor Randy Savage.
Randy.
I think just the other day it was supposed to be the last day. Some other called it. You know.
Like every day is always supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah. Someone saying like today it's rupture.
Today's the day only One Direction gets taken up in the Rapture.
Yeah,
I
it's gonna be great.
think only 80% of them should get taken up, and then one of them should be left behind.
To tell us, yeah, what we did wrong, to communicate. And they did that with the Heaven's Gate people.
Yeah, there's still a guy. There's one guy stayed behind to like
Explain
run the
everything.
website.
You think that guy got paid in advance? Like, yeah,
I hope so.
you would hope so, yeah. He still
I don't
answered
know,
the
like
phone,
but when
though.
it went down, like so they did it in pairs, you know. I guess they you know they went in pairs or whatever. But it was an odd number of people that died, so I think like one dude like bailed.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he's the guy running things.
I'll be right back. I gotta go use the restroom. I don't want to enter the asteroid.
Right.
You have to pee.
Here, let
Oh,
me put your wallets in the cubby.
yeah. That stuff's always crazy. I don't know how people get like, sucked into those things.
There's a really cool documentary on Netflix about it. It's God, what's that guy's name?
About,
It's like a really famous he's an ex-magician who debunks things like he debunked
yeah.
Popoff.
The Amazing Randy.
Yeah, that's right. Randy what's his last name? It's gonna kill me. James Randy, that's it. Yeah.
I saw
He
that
has this
the one about
documentary.
him.
It is really cool, man. He wrote a couple books with like Carl Sagan about the occult and like all the he has this thing called the $1 Million Paranormal Challenge where he'll give anybody $1 million so they can prove that like magic like is real or any kind of supernatural activity is
Yeah,
legit.
yeah. Prove you have this ability, and I'll give you this money. It's just like sitting there, right? It's an open-ended challenge.
Oh my god, I can't think of the documentary.
I watched that one. It was really good. I remember.
Was it? Okay, it's in my queue. It's called An Honest Liar. It's in my queue. I
Yes,
haven't seen it yet, but I really want to watch it.
What's
it's
it called?
it's
Honest Liar.
it's really good. It's a fascinating look. I mean, it starts there and it kind of goes over the history of his life.
Because he used to I wouldn't say he used to con people, but he was a magician, so he knows a lot of the tricks.
Yeah,
So I think technically being an honest liar is where he's yeah.
yeah. His saying is like a magician will tell you like straight up, like we're going to trick you. You're not going to see anything that's real. And then he got really mad at like the con men of the day. They show him going on like the Tonight Show and being like, "This is how this guy did it wrong" or whatever. And he like called out like this one guy.
I saw that he was like I can move this paper with my mind, and then they put a bunch of like styrofoam beads on the paper. He was
Yeah,
like, do it again, but he couldn't because he was basically like just breathing on it hard, you know.
yeah. He was like, he had they talk about how he has like two kids like infiltrate the U.S. like looking for the U.S. government was looking for like psychics, and he was just like he's like these are two people who just like pretended to be psychics even though they knew they weren't. And like tricked people for years.
Hey, so Chris, you think you might do the lunar balloon?
Yeah, I really want to. I think when this Kickstarter is done, I'm gonna maybe take a step back and sort of not. I'm gonna obviously keep doing what I'm doing, but also start all these things that I've been meaning to do. One, my site is just a mess. Like the comment section has been broke for like a month now. I just haven't even emailed Squarespace to fix it. But I know I'm gonna redo the site completely, and then also I really would love to do. I don't even know which direction I would go with that comic. I don't know if I would call it Lunar Balloon, but uh, just something that's very different. My mind, I'm sure now also with you guys, like the way I think specifically in this way, I think in a certain way now because of this comic that I do. Like my mind is sort of when I try to think of ideas or try to put things into ideas into a comic that it's always done in the same exact way. That it would be nice to have like a second comic where I can sort of think in a totally different way. Um, and obviously get to practice drawing in a different style and all that stuff. But I haven't really figured out what it would be. But yeah, and I guess I would use a tablet for it as well. The Lunar Balloon, I tried to get the website, but it seems like it's already gone.
It's already gotten? Has it?
It's crazy, yeah, it's already gone.
What?
What do they do? Do they literally sell like moon balloons or anything?
I hope so. I hope.
I think it's just not there.
It's like a law firm. That'd be awesome if it was like a law firm or something ridiculous. I tried to get Dog Ear Studios. I was gonna like try a separate comic and like put them under this like Dog Ear Studios or something cool, some kind of cool like little title.
Yeah.
And that's taken like on so many different levels, like dogearstudios.com, .org, .edu and stuff.
They're all gone,
Yeah, it's gone. So I was just like, all right, cool. I could pay these people money or just not care.
yeah. For this one, it doesn't matter. I would just do something. People call my comic other things as well. So. Lunar Boom. I got Lunar Boom. Oh.
Lunar Boon.
Yeah, Lunar Boom. I'm sure that site is taken. Oh, it's already in my favorites. That's weird.
I love what Nick did, man. Nick did like heartandbrain.coffee.
.coffee?
Yeah, it's like let's see if I can find it. I remember I was talking to him about it because he like I guess that was when domains were just going up for like whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I thought it was. Let's see if I can get it.
There's all those new ones. Like, there's all those new ones opened up. You can get like what? .gripe is a new one. Okay.
What is it? Gripe?
Yeah, like gripe, like a complaint.
Awesome.
Our friend, the other guy, Nick Pruitt, I think he was going to start a webcomic, and it was going to be Modern Gripe. So it's like modern.gripe.
Right.
It's going to be the website name.
Did you ever talk to him? Is he still at the wedding?
I haven't talked to him today. I mean, I imagine, like, I think it was also maybe his child's birthday. So he might have had, like, a huge day, so.
That's a pretty good week.
I guess he has an excuse to miss, you know, if his daughter's turning some age somewhere.
Okay, heartandbrain.coffee was where you could pre-order his book. I don't know if it's still operational, but okay.
Yeah, you could put dogearstudios.coffee. Right?
I wonder if like, the pre-ordering does as well as a Kickstarter. Kickstarter seems like a really good way to sell something because it sort of builds a momentum behind something
Yeah.
Yeah.
and an urgency.
There's like a feeling too, like if you can get to the stretch goals, I feel like I know I've like thought about upping a pledge because it's like you're only $5 away, like,
Right.
and then we get this stuff, it's like we're doing it together.
I wonder how many there are. Like, if how many Kickstarters there are where you actually become like a part of the machine. Like if you were like if I pledge like $100, I actually get like a cut of the profits or invest in it like it's a stock or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anyone would ever. I don't even know how you would work that. That's too confusing.
I don't think you could. I mean, unless you were like actively like, hey, I'm making a separate comic and I'm like whoring out creative control, you know.
You tell me what to draw. You hold my hand while I draw.
You could do
I
that.
got time for thinking.
Yeah, I feel like Patreons do that, or you could do that with a Patreon. Like, we'll put your ad on our site.
God, dude, I gotta get one going, man. I've been slacking on that like so hard.
I mean, I made that great beatbox for you, so you're done.
I still have it, and I'm gonna use it.
It's terrible. I don't know.
You really should. Like, you never know where it will go, and then I don't know. It pays for your materials. You, yeah, it's nice, and people are. I don't know. I think people are so awesome. The patrons that who support you. I think it's cool. I think patrons are really cool site.
Yeah, I love it. I even love just like being able to back other people and letting them know like I love your stuff.
Yeah, it's like here's a dollar. It's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna waste this dollar on something shitty. Now I feel good about this dollar.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard. I've heard some people say that like it's really more about like them trying to want to support you than it is actually wanting like something in return. Like the guy Brian Gordon of Foul Language was talking about that, how like he's just like, like I was asking him one day like what's a good way to go? Like do you really need to kind of do drugs for people? And he's like, I don't really do much anymore, but he was talking about how a lot of people really just kind of want to like pledge at like the $3 level and see behind the scenes.
Yeah, honestly, people, because I've had mine up for a while, and some of my higher ones, I honestly don't have time to get to them as much as I would like to. Like I have stacks of like prints I need to send out to Patreon. I almost never. People aren't complaining. I don't complain. I think a lot of people do it because they like what you do and it means something to them. Like I think Brian Gordon's a perfect example. Like he launched his right after he essentially lost his job,
Yeah.
and his is doing awesome right now. Like
I've never seen a comic get shared that much so fast. Like he is killing it.
yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with people just understanding that like he is making something, but he needs this right now. He needs this to be his bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
Um, at least that's how I feel with his Patreon. Like his Patreon is killing it. Yeah, and his comic is like I've always thought it's the easiest thing to share. He always does like it's nice to look at. It's like it fits like right into social media, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Like
super
one or two panels, and like he has he has a perfect way of like uh, saying something in that short little box. Of course, it's gonna get shared.
It's got a really cool vibe too. Like you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like definitely a Hallmark vibe that because I think that's where he used to work.
Yeah.
You can just tell like he's definitely had some experience like making some cards and really knows how to tell the joke and like get it
Oh
across.
yeah. But that's what I mean. Like it just has that like shareability. It's like yeah, I want to share this. This is totally what I want to pop on my wall. It looks good. It got the right words.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and it's that style you can recognize, I feel like. anywhere. Just I don't even think you'd have to draw the ducks, and I would still be able to be like, I know that's O'Brien. Peace.
Yeah.
You know?
He had a whole other strip before this.
Oh yeah, man. I read some of it. I can't remember the name of it though.
So I remember I saw it on Reddit like the last one was posted on a Reddit. Yeah, but I was really happy with to see like his how well his stuff did. Well, did right after he lost his job.
Yeah, that was great. It was like watching a Cinderella story in comics
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, it gives you like real hope in like people. Someone's like, oh, that something bad happened to this person. Let's do something good.
Chuck and Beans, I think is what it was called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've never seen that. I have to check it out.
It's pretty cute, man. It's like a dog and bunny, I think.
Oh yeah, I have actually seen this. This is really good. I still see these like showing too. Uh, the guy is too talented.
So what do you guys got planned for the rest of the weekend?
Oh, I think we have to practice a cake run tomorrow. I have some friends getting married next week. We're gonna pick up their cakes from like 2 different places and then bring them downtown. So it's like we have to figure it out where all these places are and where the parking is.
You have to practice it? Like, is there a chance that it might topple in your car or something?
I don't think it will topple. I think it's more just like one's on one side of town and one's on the other, and just we want to know where they are so we can find them.
Doing a test run, a dry run.
Yeah, just a dry run. Figure it all out. My wife's been calling it the cake parade, so we're gonna deduce how to do it down. Other than that, we're gonna play low key. Our kid's been sick the last couple of days.
Yeah, it sucks.
She had a fever on Wednesday, and then like we went to the doctor today, and they were like, "Yeah, just give her a Motrin." And you gave her a Motrin, and she was like, "Well, it's one kid, you know how it goes. They just change." She's just,
I love when my kid's sick. Look forward to it.
oh yeah,
He's so mellow, and he's just actually he's not mellow. It's just a normal. He's like it's the normal energy of a kid, as opposed to whatever he has now, which is insane.
this is the speed I need you to move at all the time.
Yeah, he never stops moving.
I talked to my wife about that. She's like, whenever they're sick, they're super warm.
Yeah, they're warm and they're snuggly and they're like.
Yeah. They just want to lay on you.
They just lay on you, yeah. That you're like, what's happening? And you feel like, oh, he's sick. Okay, cool. I know what today's gonna be.
And get some things done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some stuff done. Maybe one, maybe 2 things. Tomorrow's actually this weekend's Canadian Thanksgiving.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, thanks for taking time to hang out with us,
Yeah, man.
dirty Americans.
I know. We're thankful that we didn't become our own country. We still have to clean up our money. I'm not sure what we're thankful for here, but
You're just Canadians. They're just thankful for everything, right?
yeah, they're like, yeah, everything's pretty good.
You ever get sick of like the whole Canadian jokes? I mean, I guess they're really hot on the internet right now, or have been for the last however many years.
On the internet. Look, if you ever need something, you just go to Canada joke. If you ever need to warm up a crowd, it always works.
Do I get sick? No, only because I'm not Canadian. I think more. It's more just people who don't come here, like my family. I'll make jokes about Canada. It's like, you've never been here. So it's just Toronto is just an awesome city. It's not even. You live in the suburbs. Like, why are you making fun of my awesome city? You know? It's just like it's like anyone who hasn't been somewhere, then make fun of it.
Yeah.
Way without making fun of.
Do you guys still live? I think it's Little Malta. Is that right?
Yeah, I live in the mall.
How do you like that area? Is it pretty cool still?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it here. It's but we moved like we used to live on the other side of the city, and we lived like right by a highway, and it was right on a main road, and it's a really dirty area. Like this area, not to say this area doesn't have its like underbelly, prostitutes everywhere outside, but like if you stop the car, I was pulling into like our alleyway. The garages are in the back of houses here, and there's an alleyway, and I think I don't know, I was turning onto the street where my house is, and I, we have a pizza place right on the corner, which is awesome, and I think I was looking, like, lustily at the pizza place, because I was like, I'm gonna get some pizza tonight, but my eyes, as I was looking at the pizza place, my eyes also met, like, with a lady on the corner, so when I turned down the alleyway to, like, park the car, like I got out of the car and she was like right there,
Oh gosh.
right behind me. Like and it just scared me a lot. Anytime someone jumps like out of you in the dark alleyway, it's scary. Um, and I don't think she said something I couldn't understand what she said, and I just yelled like no and started running like in a really dignified way, I'm sure.
I'm married.
Yeah, I love pizza. That's why I ran yelling. Um, But yeah, this area is great. It's like it has lots of parks and it's like lots of great restaurants and good food places. It's good. It has a nice vibe. So Toronto is just in general, I think, an awesome city. It's just a great, cool place to live.
That sounds incredible.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not kidding. We really like considered like not. I mean, we love America and all that. You know,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
and,
Yeah,
and like in the sense of like it is beautiful here, and not as in like like what you would think of on like a redneck on Fourth of July. But
Right, right. The beauty of a firecracker exploding a cat's butthole.
like if you really love something, you blow it up.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how we roll here in the South. We
that's right.
appreciate that.
No, well, what you should do then, if I had to make a recommendation, is you go on a scout run. Like you go out ahead of your whole family to come visit me, and then I'll show you the city, and you make a more informed decision.
Sounds like
Um,
a good plan.
and you can bring your family too. I don't care, but it's easier to it's easier to travel. Like you can travel lightly, see more things.
I'm just gonna leave them at a hotel and be like, I'm gonna go draw nerds. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. Be right back. That was the last anyone ever saw.
That's right.
Moving to Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that would be incredible. Especially like, I'd love to come to your the camping with your like.
Yeah, I mean that would be cool. That's always a fun weekend. But it would be fun to plan something similar, but with comic people. How we would organize such a thing with a group of people who are known to be fairly antisocial.
And broke.
I don't know, but you know, yeah, that's why these comic cons are so fun because it's like people that spend 99% of their life in like a dark room drawing, like they get out together and they just drink at night and have fun.
Oh, the drinking draws are always fun. Those are great.
Yeah, they're fun. Oh my goodness, I should probably go to sleep.
Yeah, my calling rates.
It's
Yeah, I
3 hours now, so I made it. I made it 3 hours.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was great to have you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for coming. Any other time you want to come?
Yeah,
Well,
there's no reason why I can't come again. So,
there you go. We'll get you on again when your Kickstarter's going, so you can tell
well,
the
hopefully
6 watchers about that.
next week I will be launching it. I launched it last year. This time, October 17th. I think I launched it. So I'm hoping. I was hoping to do it exactly the same day.
Oh, nice.
I don't know why, but that's what I would do. And all I have to. The book's done. I have it here. I have the second book that's going to come with it that you both contributed to.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone gets that book regardless. And all I have to do is make a video. So that's just a matter of time.
Your last video was killer.
Yeah.
It was just like, I was like, this is why I can never do a Kickstarter. I can never be that funny in a video.
Well, it's videos are hard. I I don't. I'm not an actor, so I have to. All my videos have to be like no talking really.
Smart. Including
I feel you, man. I understand totally.
Like I don't. Yeah. I always try to. You have to try to find a gimmick that you can do it without having to act. Still make a video.
God, you know who's kicked ass? I mean, yeah, everybody's was great, but like Jeremy K's, he had that one.
Yeah, his is great.
He had his hands behind him making a sandwich. That was incredible.
I find that Dave Mercier's are always really well done.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
He makes me like jealous that he has he has the equipment and the know-how to make like real movies. They're nice quality too. They don't look like they were done with a phone like mine do. Anyway, we'll see what mine looks like in a week. Hopefully.
Yeah, man. Good luck. Seriously, we'll shout loud and proud. Whenever you launch it, we'll try and spread the word.
Yeah, for
Thanks.
sure.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, get some sleep. Wes, let me tell you about 1 o'clock, Wes, because you're still at midnight.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
sun dead.
It's
The
awesome.
sun that it's dead.
This 1 o'clock is so good.
Well, I hope so. I hope to see it. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.